it's just like anything. Practice. So it's about knowing, exploring, and understanding yourself, and then putting it into practice. And the best thing about the human experience, if you choose wrong, you get to choose again.
Right?
There's no limit.
It's so good. I love that. Ladies, thank you so much. The audience has probably so many more questions for you. So if you're willing, you have some time and space going into the VIP room, and there's also the general room that you can, answer the questions for them, because I know so many are going to want to connect with you. Also, obviously, these women are both in the next coming book. They're going to be in the network. You're going to be able to see them, look for their content, learn from them throughout this whole beautiful journey. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely adore all of you, both of you. Okay, there we go. So now we've got some time, because there has been some activity happening today. We've got some people that I want to really give a really epic shout out to. So I want to congrats Sandra, Clifford, Lynn for grabbing the recordings. If you haven't accessed all 4 of the days of the recordings, or maybe you don't have time or you want to come back to it, you can get access right now with our Ignite Your Fire kit. It also gives you the digital book right away. And even bigger, you get my How to Create 30K in 30-Day course. It's actually a course that I wrote. I put inside of Russell Brunson, who is the founder of ClickFunnels, $100 million company. And I was one of 30 entrepreneurs that wrote a chapter in his book. What if you lost everything? What would you do to get back on your feet in 30 days? And I was like, well, if you haven't heard my story, Russell, I did that. In 2007, my family was doing quite well in our business after I left corporate, because I didn't want to put my baby girl in daycare. So I started building our company, and we did quite well. We started investing in real estate like many did in 07 and 08. And then we lost everything. We were frauded by a developer, and our house was one of those that people used to drive past. Deepak Chopra would drive past it, Frank Kern in La Jolla, California. And we came to the point where my husband bought a $5 burrito. He used our debit card, and we overdrafted by $35 because we didn't have $5 in our account. You want to talk about stress? My baby girl was just born, and we were extremely stressful. And so we decided to leave everything. We lost it all. We had to file bankruptcy. And this is when we decided to start traveling the world. And that's been now 13 years coming up this November. And it was the greatest thing that could have happened to us in our life. And so I had to get really clear who I was. These things were not making me a great person to my daughter, to the world, to my community. It wasn't the things. It was who I was at the core. And that's what really brought our family together. And through that journey of that challenge, I then had to rebuild our life, our business. And I started rebuilding our company. And when I was asked that question by Russell, I said, of course I'm going to write a chapter. It's my life. So I put every single step. I even put in when you wake up in the morning, what to do every day, how to create a course with your gifts so that you can launch it to the world. And which is also part of why I want you to grab the Ignite Your Fire kit, because you'll get the recordings, but you're also going to get that amazing course that I no longer sell on the marketplace any longer. And thousands of people have been successful with those steps in that course. And it's also why we're building the network, so that you and I can start launching our courses, our work to the world, and have an audience waiting for it. And so I'll talk to you more about that in a moment, but I'm going to show you a video right now so you can learn a bit about what we've created in this network, and why those of you that are influencers or your content creators, podcasters, why putting this together and bringing and being inside of this network is going to be the best choice that you could ever make. So let's roll that video so you can take a look.
Hey there, this is Kat Stancic, the lead boss, and I've hijacked Rhonda's webcast for a super important reason, and I'm going to let you in on a huge secret that you are going to love.
By the way, I'm underneath my daughter's bunk bed because I want to get the audio sound just right for this. Anyway, back to the video.
Here's the thing. I never recommend anything that I don't believe in from anyone who I don't like. And the truth is, I not only like Rhonda, I trust her and I respect her. But real quick, with all the content-rich conversations going on during this live webcast, I'm going to give you a kind of mental break. Consider this a mini vacation from this very full day of valuable lessons, experiences, and business expanding ideas. So here's your quiet moment of reflection. Okay, I don't know what you know about Rhonda, but one thing's for sure, she knows exactly how to help women like us get our message and mission out there in a big way so we can grow our businesses fast and create a positive impact. And guess what? You might be thinking this is just another info course, training series, or program. Newsflash, not even close. We know the last thing you need is yet another program that takes hours and hours to get through, or another tech tool that looks awesome, but just makes you want to throw your computer out the window. The Wild Network is different. It's the only platform of its kind designed by women for women. Because we know that what you really need is a way to get content you've already got and your expertise or passion out there in the world. It's heartbreaking to spend time creating valuable content that could be so helpful, but isn't, because no one sees it. We all know what it feels like to log into most platforms. It's one interruptive ping, push, pressure attempt after another. But when you log onto the Wild Network, you're entering a new space. With the Wild Network, we've already built a community of 100,000 women strong and growing to help you get more visibility and create meaningful connections. We know you've got a story or a message that matters, and you want to get it in front of more people you can positively impact. So Rhonda created this platform to do exactly that. As part of the Wild Network, you'll attract your perfectly aligned audience fast. And best of all, you don't need to produce any new content to make this happen. Just take what you've already got sitting on your hard drive or YouTube or Facebook, plug it into the Wild Network, and watch things grow. Our network is just 5 simple steps built around 5 core features. Step 1, choose your Wild level, then set up your profile and visibility level using Resyndicator. Step 2, link to your products, programs, services with the invisible selling engine, Funnel Zero. Step 3, share your status as a featured Wild expert, leveraging your Wild Media Kit, the Brandstorm. Step 4, focus on what matters as you watch your content spread like wildfire via Social Blaze. Step 5, connect with the community, then give and receive easily trackable referrals thanks to Recommendify. Oh, and if that's not fantastic enough, we've also got some awesome secret bonuses to throw in right now. See that little countdown clock somewhere beside this video? Well, it's the bearer of some exceptionally good news for you. Right now, while that clock is ticking, you've got a chance to get some very special countdown bonuses. And these are bonus gifts we know you just can't find anywhere else because we want to help you succeed even more. Wild bonus number 1, Wild Network ad spots. Feature your products, programs, and services across the Wild Network in targeted ad spots. Our smart AI matches what viewers are interested in with what offers we show, so it never feels like a pushy interruption, but instead like the exact thing they were hoping to see. Wild bonus number 2, imagine being featured in Women Gone Wild magazine. It'll be a great positioning and credibility builder you can share with your potential clients and current clients, and it'll help you get more media coverage too. Wild bonus number 3, get a personal column in Women Gone Wild magazine. Join as a rock star for your own channel. We'll also give you your own column in Women Gone Wild magazine. Wow, awesome bonuses, right? That's because we want you to feel appreciated, welcomed, and special like the wild woman you are. Now we've got one more big bonus for you. When you join before the timer counts down, you'll get a free membership in the Wild Women Mastermind. It's an invite-only, once-a-month think tank and networking session hosted by Rhonda and her team, where you connect with other wild women and create a bigger impact and so much more. So don't wait. We'll have to take away this bonus as soon as it fills. Go ahead and click that button before the clock clicks down to 0. Why wouldn't you click that button? Get your spot before the network fills up, because this isn't just some unlimited digital program or downloadable. There's actually a hard limit to how many channels and collections we can let in right now. Quick time check. Is it deadline o'clock yet? Did you miss out on this? Not yet? Okay, cool. Because it's time for you, my friend, to finally get seen everywhere that matters. Finally. And here's your sign. So as you click the button, know that what's waiting for you on the other side is the visibility and growth you've been looking for. And you know that's worth investing in, especially at this crazy introductory offer. Go ahead and click that button now. Time's almost up.
All right, welcome back. Wow. So now are you starting to feel what we're up to? We're creating an environment for women. So you could be listening and watching as a content creator or someone that has a course or a mission or a message they want to get out to the world. And you're like, I want to be one of the channels in there because I want my people to come inside to see it. But I also want my content to be showcased throughout this whole world, this whole network of other women that are already there bringing their audience. See, this is about creating a support system. Or you might be someone going, wow, I can't wait to just tune into that network and to be the one that just goes through and is a searcher, is on YouTube and saying, I'm looking for intuition, I'm looking for a topic on wealth, right? There's two of you here today. And those of you that are saying, wow, like I want to grow my business, I want to grow my message, whether it's a community, it's not just a business, right? It's maybe an impact that you want to leave and you want to place and put your video content, your course work out to the world. This is where you're going to do it. Like, and personally, I'm actually like I'm stopping any of the systems I had used before, and I'm bringing all my courses into the network because there's going to be a free section where people can just consume. And then for those of you that already have courses and you have an audience, then there's a membership site area so that your private content can be there. But can you imagine being able to just say, okay, cool, I'm going to launch my course. And you use one of our templates, which is our live stream template, and you launch a course live in the network. Not only our audience is going to be notified because we're doing all the work for you, but then your audience, you'll be able to invite. What I'm doing right here, I'll be honest, you can't even see all of this. It's taken us months. The amount of people that are working in this production, there's a lot going on here. And I thought, man, I just know most of these women, they just won't do it, not because you can't, just because there's so much that's involved in it. There's a lot of investment, a lot of wherewithal. And because I've been in digital marketing for 15 years, this is the stuff that I do like secondhand. But I realize there's a massive gap right now in the woman entrepreneur digital space. Like, you have to be able to get your work out there digitally. That's just how it's going to work now, right? Certainly you can do things locally. However, getting your massive message out to the world needs to be done through video. And many women are doing amazing in their business, but their scale could be even grander. And there's others that are doing exceptionally well, and their scale can be even more amazing, right? So every single level of woman will fit within our network because it's about supporting each other. I'm creating the largest Rolodex, right, which is the network. It's almost like you getting verified on social media. You'll be a verified Woman Gone Wild content creator, whether you have your own Rockstar channel, which is yours, funnels are built, you get to sell from it, you get your own live stream page, or if you're like, well, I just have some content, then you can be a part of our Wild channel. And you can put your content on Wealth, Intuition, Leadership, and Diversity's collection. But whichever one you are, this is the space to do it. This is what I'm investing in. And I want to help you get to that next level. So we're super excited about it. There is an opportunity for you right now, certainly, to learn more about the Wild Network. Before the end of the day, you're going to have a really special opportunity. Make sure if you're already figuring it out or considering, we are very, very limited in this launch. And when we relaunch it again next year in 2022, the price will be doubled than what it is right now. So this is, for those of you that are live, you get the option to be part of it right now. So go click on that link that's right here on your page and make sure you take a look and say, okay, I'm in. It'll include all the recordings. It'll also include everything that comes from the mystery box will be sent to your doorstep. So you have nothing to lose and you have everything to gain. All right, ladies and gents, let's move on because I am really excited for our next pair of speakers into this spotlight. In fact, I have Sandra Tremper O'Brien, who's coming out, and she's an absolute dear friend. She's actually one of the very first women that said yes to this book because it was a different book before it was this book. It was just 2 years ago. My goodness, almost 2 years ago. We were at an event here in Bali, and we all went, we need to do something awesome, and let's write a book together. And so Sandra Tremper O'Brien's She's one of our authors, but she's also a life path. Her life path has taken many, many turns, from sexual assault survivor to litigation attorney to married life, a country club housewife, raising 2 boys. And after 25 years of living a conventional life in a broken marriage, she moved across the country to rediscover herself and place in the world. She has trained an energy healer with the Modern Mystery School, and now bridges spirituality and science as a heart math certified trainer. Then a few years ago, she was invited to attend Burning Man. We love Burning Man. We're all burners. This inspired her to create her own art, Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess, which represents forgotten or repressed aspects of every woman that are calling to be reclaimed and reintegrated into their life. She's an official exhibitor at an artist at the Burning Man from 2017 to 19. The Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess message has since become part of her mission. When she's not indulging her love of learning and travel, Sandra is appreciating the beauty and renewing energy of the ocean near her home in San Diego, where I used to live too. So Sandra, it's so great to have you. How are you, darling?
So lovely to see you, Rhonda. Thank you. I mean, I can't thank you enough for really pulling this all together. Who would have thought a couple years ago that this little small group of women had this little kernel of an idea?
Yep.
And you know what? We followed our intuition, didn't we?
We sure did.
We followed our intuition.
I know.
I love that.
Yeah. You know, it's so cool too, Sandra, because the work that you obviously lean into is about our, divine masculine, our divine feminine energies. And I remember that moment. I was just really starting to kind of embrace and slowly letting go. And it was because of so much of your inspiration, right? And your knowledge, because I'm like thirsty for knowledge. And so the moment someone tells me, I'm like, wait, I need to learn more about this, And my life is completely transformed since the day that we had this idea for this book. And for that, I want to thank you. But more importantly, I want to welcome you to this stage to share about what you're working on, because it's absolute magic.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Yeah. I go into, in the chapter in the Women Gone Wild book, I do go into masculine and feminine energies and kind of an introduction to all that. And it's been lovely to see your metamorphosis in that realm. It's been terrific. But tonight, I'm so excited to talk about intuition. Intuition is one of my favorite things, because I've only in the past several years started tapping into it. And it's been absolute magic. It's actually the reason I am here today. And I want to kind of share with you that story. You kind of touched on a little bit in the introduction, but intuition is that pause. It is that liminal space where if you allow it to take form, it will manifest itself to you. And it could arise as, a gut feeling or a knowing or a hunch. We've all felt it. We may not have understood what it is. And some of us have the experience of ignoring our intuition and what happens with that too. But when you give it space to expand, it can also become your aha moment. And I had that happen to me. Part of what I do in my Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess transformation work with women is to reconnect them with their innate intuition. In fact, I was listening, as I mentioned, to my intuition that led me to create Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess method. And it all started with Burning Man, which I know you're familiar with Burning Man. Yes. But for those of you who are not familiar with it, it's an annual week-long event that's held in the very harsh conditions of the Nevada desert. And it's a temporary community of about 70 to 80,000 people. And its whole dedication is about art and creativity. And it's governed by these 10 principles, such as radical self-reliance and gifting and participation and radical self-expression, among other things. So in planning my second trip to Burning Man, I had decided to create some art as a gift to my campmates and kind of the neighbors in the area. And so I went shopping around. I love going to thrift stores. I get some inspiration there. And I was walking through a thrift store, and I see these 4 female torsos, these black plastic female torsos, and something made me stop. And I just, they were kind of tucked in a corner, actually. They weren't really obvious. And it just made me stop. And I looked at them and I had this knowing and this almost voice that said to me, you have to buy these. And I was like, of course, then my head takes over because that's what happens, right? Your head's like, what? Buy this. And then I was just like, no, that was really strong. I'm going to buy them. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I'm going to buy them. So I did. I kind of nicknamed them the girls, and I brought the girls home and I lined them up against the wall in my living room. And I'm looking at them and I was just like, okay, girls, talk to me. Who are you? And I sat down and I gave it some space and some quiet. And I closed my eyes and I waited for the answer. I put that out into the universe, and I was just actually not even just to the universe, to myself, because it was an intuitive hit that I had in that thrift store. So I'm like, okay, why? Why did this happen? And the answer actually came to me very, very quickly. They said, we are you. We are every woman. We are divine. We are feminine. We are warriors. We are goddess. And I knew at that moment, I knew exactly how I was going to do this art. And so I designed it all and took it to Burning Man. And I went there and wanted to put it in my camp. They're placed on poles, right? Well, Burning Man has like this really hard, rock hard playa dirt kind of stuff you can't dig without a machine. So I went to the art support department because it's all about, they have amazing art out there, just huge installations. People spend, years and they have huge teams and all of this stuff. So I just went and I said, hey, is there any way I can have the auger machine come by my camp and dig 4 post holes? I just need 4 holes to put it in. And they started asking me questions about it. And I said, well, what's your inspiration? And do you have pictures? And I said, well, my inspiration was, it's called Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess. And I really would like people who come by and see it to kind of, especially women, to ask themselves, kind of reflect on it. What makes me divine? How do I honor my feminine? How does my warrior manifest itself? And how do I honor my goddess? And I said, those are 4 aspects of every woman that, a lot of women have lost touch with. So they took the pictures and they took all this back in the back room. And I'm sitting there. And of course, by then, my head's taking over, right? All the self-doubt comes forth, all of this. And I'm like, what am I doing here? They're probably in the back room right now, laughing their butts off, going, who is this chick? Who does she think she is bringing this? And I'm just like waiting, and it felt like forever. And they finally came out and they said, well, we love your art and we really like your inspiration, and we'd love to put it out on the playa, which is out with all the other art, for everybody to see. And at this point, my jaw drops to the floor. I'm speechless. And I'm just like, what? So I'm like, kind of like, you must have made a mistake. So I'm like, I'm not an artist. I said, I'm a recovering litigation attorney and, country club housewife in my past life. But by then I was a official Burning Man artist. Since then, I have been invited back the past 2 years that they've had it officially, and I brought the girls out. But each time it's Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess, and it's connecting with the empowerment aspect of what's inside every woman. So I realized that the art had mirrored my own journey after the end of my 25-year marriage, of reconnecting myself. I was just lost. I didn't know who I was. So I was reconnecting myself with those aspects, the divine, the feminine, the warrior, and the goddess. And I also realized that on this journey of reclaiming my personal power, that it also resonated with other women, and that I could help other women reconnect with those aspects of themselves too. So intuition it's one of our superpowers. It is like a muscle though, and you do have to use it and you have to practice with it. one of the techniques that I started with is to sit and ask my body, what does yes feel like? And what does no feel like? Because they resonate if you have to pay attention to it, but they resonate in different places in your body. And if you get to know what your yes feels like in your body and your no feels like in your body, you can start building that muscle and start practicing with simple little things, stuff that really doesn't matter during the day, but just practice, and leave space and be open and leave that time, because it's an instinctive feeling. It bridges the gap between the conscious and the non-conscious, and it can't be captured with analytical reasoning or a logical brain. And if I hadn't listened to my intuition that day at the thrift store, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have gone on this journey and, on this mission to help other women reclaim those aspects of themselves. So pay attention to your intuition and give it space and time to expand, and watch your world expand with it.
Sandra, wow. I love that story. I know that story before, but I didn't know all the depths of it. And it's beautiful to think, right? Like something, just a message that comes through to us, and then we can actually turn it into a reality. This is what's happened for me here. Like, I didn't have time to run a 4-day summit that took me 2 months with 50 some people to help prepare it. I didn't have time, right? And then to relaunch a book series, like all these things, but it was like, no, you have to do this. This is part of your soul's calling. But when you do it, like the fulfillment and the magic, this is when it begins to turn into reality. And I know you're also launching, you were just obviously an author in this book, but you're launching your own book coming up as well. Want to share a bit about that before we go to questions?
Yeah, so that's been a work in progress really over the past 4 years as my journey has unfolded. Yeah. That was another intuitive hit. And that was another thing where I kept getting this message that I need to be helping other women on this journey, on their journey of, I call it lost and found. These women who are lost. And I was there. I was that woman. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I looked in the mirror and I didn't know who I was. So to help them on this journey. And the book that I am working on is called Reclaim Your Crown. And it is about connecting with those aspects of ourselves that we've forgotten or suppressed or ignored. And it's really about reclaiming sovereignty over your own life. You're a queen. You're a queen. And it's about, living a royal life. It's about having fresh flowers. Fresh flowers make me happy.
Me too.
And I'm worth it.
Me too.
I'm worth having fresh flowers.
We're worth it. We're worth all the beauty. It's funny that you say that, because I have flowers. My whole house is like a jungle, right? Constantly. But it's like the jewels, the things that just make you feel beautiful. You deserve that. Right? Because then you radiate at a higher frequency, and then everything in life begins to elevate. And I love you. Don't leave, because we've got tons of people asking questions, and we're going to come back to you because I'm going to bring Lilith out right now. So hold tight in the back. Everyone's excited. Thank you, Sandra. I love your story. So I want to bring out now our next guest. She's a really dynamic, amazing woman. In fact, her name is Lilith Moon. She's here in Bali, but she's actually streaming live from her home in Ubud. And she's a shamanic healer and a teacher, holistic business coach, and the creator of Shamanic Yoga. She combines yoga, shamanism, and business coaching to help aspiring new and seasoned healers go all the way from accelerating their own healing journey and training as shamanic healers to creating their soulful, successful healing businesses. She now lives her dream life in the Balinese jungle together with her son Lou, but building her 6-figure healing business in her 20s while being a single mom was not exactly a walk in the park. So she loves making this sacred journey easier and so much more enjoyable for other women on a mission. Hello, Lilith. How are you? Selamat pagi.
Hi, Rhonda. Hi, everyone. Namaste.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. I'm so honored to be here with all of you amazing women today. Thanks all for being here, for your presence. And thank you so much, Rhonda, for having me be part of this amazing movement.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. This is a beautiful space that we've been able to create. Today's energy and the message is really, coming through to this audience. They're loving it. And so let's, I know you've got something really special to share with everyone. So I want everyone to right now, take a moment and to reconnect and get present with what's about to happen, because Lilith is going to walk you through something really beautiful, and it's your time to really focus and be part of this space. It's all yours, my dear.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. I'm so excited that I get to talk to you all about intuition today, which is such a big key for all of us women who want to be wild and free, leading authentic, purposeful, and abundant lives. Now, it all starts with coming back to ourselves, right into our center, into our hearts, so that we can access our intuition and power. And that is what I want to help you with today. Now, shamanic yoga is an incredible modality showing women how to heal at the soul level, to learn to really love who they are, to clarify their unique soul mission, and to express themselves in deeply fulfilling ways through their work, all while helping others in profound ways and making great money at the same time. And I teach this because this is my reality today. I really live my dream life here in Bali with my 5-year-old son, Lou. We are in the middle of the jungle here. I can't believe how magical my life is, I wake up to the birds chirping and I have this panoramic view over the jungle. And I do my morning yoga next to my infinity pool, the garden smelling like frangipani flowers. And I am so blessed every day that I get to work with amazing women who are really like sisters to me. And like Rhonda said before, I built my 6-figure healing business as a single mom in my 20s. And I know that ultimately what's responsible for my success is that I followed my heart every step of the way. The trouble is, though, that most of us are really disconnected from our hearts because of traumas that we have gone through in the past. So we are really afraid to fully feel things again, and instead we try to escape into our heads. But what happens then is stress, frantic thinking that leads to frantic action. And I was just the same, My mom died when I was 9, and I took on a lot of responsibility for my baby brothers. And I totally escaped into my mind as a coping mechanism. And the stress kept me in my mind and served as a barrier to keep me from feeling and healing the trauma in my heart, and from tapping into my inner knowing to find my real calling. But our true purpose and fulfillment and the true joy of living cannot be accessed through the mind. When we disconnect from our hearts, we are also not safe from our past traumas and difficult feelings. They're still there. They're working underneath the surface, making us manifest more of the same, and they burst out under the pressure that we create, as overwhelm, as anger, as depression, as sickness. Now we need to find the courage to open our hearts again, to feel what needs to be felt so we can heal and be open to our heart's truth and guidance and really fulfill our destiny. Now for me, this path back to myself, it started with yoga 12 years ago, and it was accelerated so much through shamanism, and that's why I created shamanic yoga, so that more women can access their higher consciousness through their own bodies and their own hearts and souls, and so that it becomes much more accessible for women worldwide. Your intuition, your inner knowing shows you what is really true for you. And that is so important, because when you know who you really are and what you really want, then you are authentically yourself, living a fabulous life on your terms. And that, for me, is what the Women Gone Wild movement is all about. It's about being who you are unapologetically, expressing your unique beauty and power in the world, contributing what only you can, and finding so much purpose, fulfillment, and prosperity in doing so, at the same time as helping so many others. And in working closely with hundreds of women as a shamanic healer and teacher over the years, I've really found that the first step is to learn how to get out of your mind and into your heart, which is the center, the origin of our intuition. We know today, even from science, that before a signal reaches our brain, the heart already knows. Our heart chakra is the core of our being. It is where our eternal existence, represented by the 3 upper chakras, our spiritual self, connects to our incarnated physical reality, represented by the 3 lower chakras. The heart connects our soul journey, our purpose, with our 3D experience. And that is the true purpose of life. It is experiencing and expressing and enjoying and sharing your true self, your soul self, right here, right now on Earth. So reconnecting to our heart space, that's something that I teach my apprentices from week 1 of my shamanic training, because it is so important if we want to be in touch with what's really going on within us and around us, and use that awareness to co-create an amazing reality for ourselves and others. And that's why I want to guide you through a short shamanic meditation right now to teach you a really easy way to land in your heart space and get in touch with your intuition. So I'm going to drum for you to help you relax deeply, quickly. If you have good headphones to listen to this with, that's great. You'll get to experience the trance state more intensely. Let's get going. All you need to do is sit comfortably, relax back, and let's do this. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, letting go everything that you're holding on to energetically, fully landing in the present moment. Expanding with your breath as you breathe in and breathing out, relax. Breathing in, feel your heart expanding. Breathing out, relax and listen. What insights does your heart have to share with you? Slowly time to end this practice again, but I invite you to keep your awareness inside your heart as you gently open your eyes again. Now, I encourage you to practice this daily. You can do this by yourself. You can guide yourself through this. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in, feel the energy in your head, breathe it down. Breathe yourself down. This is so simple. Do this whenever you feel out of alignment, when you feel stressed. Do it first thing in the morning. Do it before you go to bed. This practice alone can transform your life, bring so much clarity and happiness and fulfillment. And I mean, can you imagine the ripple effect? This will positively influence your family and your friends and clients, and they in turn will influence their people. We hold so much power for good. All we have to do is decide to be wild, to be courageous, and actually use it. So go do that. We all need you to rise so we can create a better world for everyone together. And the real revolution starts with yourself, with your own heart. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for being the light that you are. And thank you, Rhonda, for holding space for all of us here.
I love it, Lilith. I mean, that you brought me into this is like my normal time when I'm going back out to my altar space with my own drum and just really taking a moment to tap back in, because I think it's such an important practice to apply every day, because we get all these, anxieties or stresses or just things that are going on in our life, and we forget how good it feels. I want to ask everyone in the chat, because we're going to have Sandra come out in a minute, Lilith, but how do you feel right now? Like right inside of the chat, like how did that make you feel? Do you do this in your practice? And we want to bring out Sandra as well so we can ask questions to Lilith and both Sandra, because it's such a powerful moment to really remember, right? Like to be present. And this is something that we as women sometimes overlook, right? And so thank you for guiding us through that, because we got another whole hour and a half left after this with an amazing singer and an amazing live guest. So now we're all recentered and refocused. But I want to remind all of you that are here right now too, before the questions come out, make sure you share this. These women are here to answer your questions. Share this again so that we can bring more women into the space and container. All right, ladies, let me go take a look over here. All right, so Ariana has asked you, Sandra, can your intuition ever be wrong?
Well, that's why it's important as a starting point for everything to know thyself. That's really your guiding compass. Because when you know yourself, you know your values, you know your principles, you know, that's your North Star. That's your compass. So wrong isn't a term that I like to use necessarily. It might take you on a different path, but who is to say that that's the wrong path? So what I would say is, if you're new to tapping into your intuition, I think Lilith's practice is lovely, because you really need to get into that heart space to be able to hear. Get out of the head and into the heart. Yeah. The answers aren't here. They're here. And when you get to know what your yes is, what your no is, and what is right for you, there's a vibration, and you just need to kind of tap into that. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I love that. Lilith, Callie asks, what is one of the biggest key factors that you've seen when leading others to push themselves beyond their extraordinary goals?
Well, I think I would start with saying that I think that we push ourselves way too much. I think the extraordinary comes when we allow ourselves to relax back into ourselves. We are so driven by the masculine societies, all of our societies are so much steeped in this masculine energy. And I think we need to come back to the feminine. We need to allow ourselves to relax and really receive. Like when you're having, when you feel stressed, when you're you want to reach this goal and you really feel like, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? Imagine yourself on a throne, like Rhonda on her beautiful chair. Imagine yourself as a queen, and know that the universe is here to make things happen for you. All you have to do is, like Sandra said, you have to know yourself, and then you have to be ready to go out and express yourself, and allow things to come to you. So whenever I want to reach an amazing goal, first I check in, is this actually what I am meant to be doing? Is this my ego talking, or is this what I am meant to do? Is this my purpose? you know? And I think the most powerful question is, how can we be of service? And when you ask that, the universe conspires to help you make it happen in so many ways. So I say, before you start your work, before you actually go into action, tap back into your heart space. Use the practice that I just shared with you. And I'm absolutely positive that you will reach your goal, because it will be in alignment with who you are, and you allow yourself to relax and to receive and to take care of yourself first. Put yourself in the center. Put yourself in the center. You need to serve from your overflow. Okay? Allow yourself to do that.
I love that. That's awesome. Especially for, women that have children. Like, I know you've got Lou with you, but you have to find time to prioritize, right? When we are at that center, then that allows everything to begin to navigate, and things, I always say it's being divinely orchestrated right in front of us. I've been the most relaxed I've ever been in any endeavor, and this is the biggest thing I've ever done in my career. And I'm like, okay, let's just let it happen. Certainly there's been quite a bit of work to do. However, it's been effortless because I haven't been pushing in heavily into the masculine, and I've given up a lot of the responsibility to others that can lean into themselves. So it's been beautiful. I know Sandra's like, yay, way to go, sister. Right? We had these big talks before, and it's such a beautiful thing. But Sandra, Eva actually has a question for you. What happens if my intuition is what I feel for me and good for me, but not for my marriage? So have you ever had that within? I know you probably have, because you've made some bigger decisions.
Yeah. Well, who's to say what's good for you isn't good for your marriage? When you are true to yourself, and I like to say, and you alluded to this a little bit, Rhonda, is like, self-care isn't selfish, and you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to really get in touch with who you are, what's important to you as that kind of guiding compass. And you have to be true to that, because that's how I realized that I was in a marriage and a whole situation where it was more dealing with societal expectations and putting on masks of expectations, what other people wanted from me, what other people expected from me. And it wasn't true to who I am. And it was one of those things. Sometimes we don't want to hear the answers, so that's why we ignore intuition. I think Bella spoke to that earlier today. And, it's something that if you want to be true to you, I couldn't live that life anymore. It became too uncomfortable. Yeah. It was not in alignment with who I am. I lost any sense of self-confidence, of self-respect, of self-knowledge. I didn't know who I was. I was completely lost. I was trying to be everything for everyone else but myself. So it's really your choice. You be true to yourself and live your life. I have an amazing life now. I moved across the country. I live 2 blocks from the beach. I have an amazing life now, but it's something that I created because I know myself, and I'm living in alignment with who I am and what's important to me.
Yeah, I love that. Sandra's a really great answer, because it's interesting that, this question was about relationships. Brian and I have been together for 23 years. And, I know there's been several moments in my life where I'm like, this is good for me. I'm doing this. And you're welcome to join me, or you're welcome to not join me, and that's okay too. But I was so willing to know what I needed for me and what I needed to fulfill on who I could be for them, that I had to stand in that bold position. And he's like, I'm with you, sister. Like, I'm with you, right? But there's been multiple times like that Brian and I've had those moments. However, I could have easily compromised, right? But when you feel it, when you know, there is no compromise. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or you have children. They will then more be in love and follow on your mission, or they will also rise in their own sovereignty for what they need to. And it's such a beautiful thing. So I think that's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking that. But we do have one more question. Yeah.
I was going to say, it actually might surprise you in that your partner may rise to the occasion and support you in your new evolution.
Yeah.
evolve together. So don't assume that that's going to be, the end of a relationship because you're evolving.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Okay, so there's actually a question for myself, and is from Michelle. She's asking, I'm a distributor for a weight loss wellness program helping people lose weight and get healthy physically and ultimately mentally. Can Women Gone Wild help me grow my digital business by reaching hopefully thousands of people? Really great question. The reason why I'm putting this network together is to bring those together to find you, right? So mold any business style. There's going to be, showcased and featured women that have businesses that have content. So I'm sure in your health and wellness business, you might want to, showcase what you know and how you know it. And we will then help bring that audience there. So absolutely the network is going to be for those that have current businesses, that don't, that just have a mission, or they're building communities. And it's an overall space for women to help support each other. So I definitely would say so. All right, so before we get going, I want to know, Lilith, is there any last thing that you would like to share with the audience? Because that last question came in for me, that they should hear from you before I do the shout outs.
I think the most important thing for us women is to really allow ourselves to enjoy life. It sounds crazy, but I had this talk yesterday with my apprentices, and all of them I found, especially at the moment, the energies are very intense. What happens in the world is very intense. They're so focused on what they need to do and to get things done. And I totally get it. We are mothers, we are women in business, we have a lot to do. But don't forget the joy of living. Ask yourself, what will feel good today? What will my heart have me do? What will my soul have me do? And then go do that. And trust me, the things that really need to get done, they will get done, and much more effectively so if you come back to yourself and if you allow yourself to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life. So go do that.
That's a beautiful message. Thank you, ladies, so much for all that you do, who you are, and your chapter in the book was divinely orchestrated perfectly for you as well. So make sure that you get access. If you get Ignite Your Fire, you also get access to the digital book. And if you are having the mystery box, there will be a beautiful hard copy book sent right to your doorstep. So super excited, ladies. Thank you so much for being you. Amazing. Okay, so now everyone, as let's see, we've got some shout outs. So we've got some people coming over in here. Whoa. All right. All right, so now we've got Janelle, Wendy, Stephanie, Kathy, Ann, Cheryl, Shelly, Caroline, Nina, and Crystal. Thank you for interacting and being part of the community and bringing that energy you've got inside of the network. So, all right, ladies, you have heard me talk quite a bit about this network. So now it's time for me to actually really want to show you more, but what it really is all about. I shared with you from the heart why I'm doing all of this in the first place. I am truly on a mission to bring as many women together as possible. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek more about this network so you can actually understand it. So I want you to hear a few things. If you are one that's going to be coming, that you're just going to be wanting to consume, listen to see how these women will be there. If you're someone that is a content creator or a course creator or transformational coach, consultant, I want you to listen in how you can present and put your wares and your work in front of those that are coming to listen and consume, because this is what we're creating, this perfect world and this perfect network of women teaching and women learning. Watch, enjoy them. Enjoy the video. Let's roll it.
Hey, Michelle Schaefer here, and Rhonda asked me to do a quick behind the scenes demo for you of the Wild Network platform. So I'm going to show you what it is, how it works, and how you can get your content featured here. Let's start from the top. So we've got a searchable site to make it easy for people to find you based on your name, your topics, what you are sharing. Typical navigation here, but we've got topics based on what are the types of content that wild women are looking for. And I love this. Up here in the corner, you'll see we are tracking how many women are impacted every month by the network, because that's what this is about. It's about getting your content in front of the women who are going to fall in love with you as soon as they find you and know that you exist. So we've got this featured gallery spotlight area at the top where right now we've got a quiz. What kind of wild woman are you? Because as we build that list, we blast your content out to that list. Now scrolling down through the page, we've got featured items, we've got wild items we think viewers will like, and this is based on what they're interacting with, what they're searching for. So we're tracking that and using AI to really show people things they'll love. We've got collections. As a featured wild woman on the network, you get a profile page where you're featured and you can link out to your social media, to your offers, your products, your services, your programs, and get people into your world. We've got most inspiring, we've got classics, wild women channels, and featured topics. Again, because we want people to dive in and find your content on the network. Every piece of content has a hover teaser here where you can see we've got a quotable, we've got a watch list feature so that people can mark the ones they want to come back to, some details about it, who's featured, but let's open this up and go into a collection. So each collection, and this is the Rhonda Swan Show, has a page like this where each of the episodes in the collection are featured. You can see some of the details here. And when you go to continue watching here, it takes you to the page dedicated to the video. So imagine your video here. People can give you feedback on it. They can share because we know we are great at sharing content that we love. This is how your content gets out there everywhere. Featured experts are here. You've got a summary where you can share a little bit about what's in your video. You can also link out. So if you've got a next step for people, a worksheet, a PDF, an ebook, you can link to it right here and be building your list as people find your content. You have the option to also add action steps in. And as you can see, the system remembers what viewers completed, and when they come back, those action steps are checked for them. So you've got ways to really give people opportunities to not just watch your content, but take action on what you're sharing with them. We've also got featured items over here, what's popular and hot, and what we think they'll like. Now, join as a rock star. Your ad spots can be featured over here in the sidebar along the network. So imagine your products and services featured right here in these spots. And it's not just about being featured on the network, because we syndicate all over the place. So your content is really going to get out there. Plus, we've got some amazing bonuses for you. Those Wild Network ad spots I just mentioned, getting featured in Women Gone Wild magazine, even a personal column in Women Gone Wild magazine, and so much more. We've got a Wild Women Mastermind. It is limited how many women we can let in. So make sure you join us before that fills so that you can get all of these bonuses and get your content featured all over the Wild Network. Go ahead, click that button, join us, and we will see you in the network.
I trust Rhonda with my heart. Otherwise, I don't know if it was anybody else I might have jumped on.
It was one of those little kind of ideas that sparks up and ends up becoming something huge. And you don't know it at the time, but my gut felt right.
It's just been such an incredible experience. My brand has just expanded and exploded.
Like, it was just perfect. Like, and it was just like two things, like, boom, right, hugging it.
I love this theme around going wild because it lets you express your authenticity.
I first met Rhonda through some mutual friends and was really just blown away at her energy and, you know, the power that she brought into her company.
So I read Rhonda's book and I was really inspired by her story of how she left the corporate world.
And so I decided to kind of look for her, find out more. I registered for some courses and then ended up doing her VIP program. And yeah, the rest is history.
I think that Rhonda totally embraces that for all of us and has kind of given me that catalyst along the way.
The community of people that are involved there is wonderful. The support that you get from the people that are in the tribe is amazing. It's all about lifting you up and lifting your business up and not having to push another business, and really centers around what you want to do and your passion in life. And
after you're on a call with Rhonda, you're like, I can do anything, you know? She has extreme talent and knowledge and is very resourceful when it comes to digital marketing, social media, and all that stuff, which I completely suck at.
Be wild in it. Like, really just take it to the next level. We can't hold back and just allow things to happen anymore. We really have to stand up for our beliefs.
I know that in the collective, this has been an undercurrent that's been going on for a while. And the rise of the divine feminine is so needed because of the fact that we've been really unbalanced in the world.
So I do say to you, pay attention, because you can be completely inspired here in this space.
Because you learn so much in there. You got all the tools you need if you want to success online, and so easy steps that everyone can do, even I that didn't know that you could even work online.
You're going to get so much out of it. If you are a businesswoman, you're going to get a lot of added credibility.
You know, I can't say enough. I can't say enough about Rhonda. I can't say enough about the team. She puts her events on with such professionalism, and her heart goes into every single detail of the work that she does.
So I am super grateful that I had that inspiration and encouragement for Rhonda, because otherwise I wouldn't be a podcaster heard in 56 countries today.
I was rocking out to that video. Oh, wow. I'm so excited, guys and gals, that this environment that we're creating, this container for women to not only share their gifts, but to create a sense of community and, most importantly, connection. That's the whole point of why I'm bringing this all together. So we not only have the book where you can be an author in, we're taking the applications. Thank you. There's so many applications came in today. Our author and wild team is very excited to meet you. And also those of you that are joining the network. I know everyone's kind of like, wow, is this for me? What's it for? I tell you, this is a time, right, where I shared this yesterday, when we look at what's happening in the marketplace, trends that might be taking place, and what do we need to do to make sure that our gifts get to be shared out to the world. And I have a huge team, right? And many women in your businesses, it's really challenging to get the type of teams that we've got that help you syndicate your work. Like, I'm in PR and marketing, right? So any of our clients, they get into one of the publications, we just syndicate their content everywhere, so they're seen by everyone. But not everyone has those connections. I've got them. So I'm taking everything that I know, bringing it into the foundation of the network so that you can come in, give our team your video content, and allow them to display you. And then we'll show you, we will highlight you all over the network, allow you to have a part of the schedule where you launch your masterclasses. We invite the network. Like, there's so many beautiful things that are going to happen inside of there, which is why we are inviting you for a very special time, those content creators that either want to have their own channel, which you absolutely should have your own channel. That's where you're going to be able to control everything that goes on in there, but also really showcase your wares, and then work with an amazing, beautiful team of women and have that support. So we're super excited for it, and I'm really happy to have all of you as well. So let's do this. So we're gonna do some introduction for a very amazing musician that I actually have coming up. She's actually going to be coming here in a minute. She's coming in from San Diego, or she's actually, I think, in Northern California. And she's worked and sang on stages from some of the most dynamic and amazing speakers in the world, like Tony Robbins and some of the greats, Jay Abraham. She is leading women's charges and singing from her heart and really opening up the space. And I love this woman because I actually met her in Mexico, probably about, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago, even longer maybe. And yeah, probably longer, a little longer. And we met, she was singing, she was like the MC woman singer of the event. And it was a personal development event. It was actually one of the first companies that I ever worked with. Everyone always asks, like, how did you get your start? I actually started, when I quit corporate, I started working with a personal development company that had like Bob Proctor, Joe Dispenza, Dr. John DeMartini, all of the greats came together and they built and they offered their courses and they built their courses, but it was all under one umbrella. So I was selling their courses online. I was learning from the great Perry Marshall was one of my first mentors back in 2004. So I've learned from like the big guys, right? The old boys club, how to be a marketing woman, which is why I've become one of the best women in the world right now in marketing. And I was offering their courses and selling them online, getting them on the phone. Like I went from a corporate executive for a massive Fortune 100 company, managing billion-dollar accounts, to calling people on the phone and offering them, you know, these personal development products. But little did I know it had this like business opportunity under it. Now, I don't know if any of you knew, but I had no idea what network marketing or MLMs were. I didn't know what they were at that time. And so I'd call people and they'd ask me, is this an MLM? What is this? I'm like, what's an MLM? I was like, I don't even know what this is. I'm just selling this awesome personal development product. But little did I realize that I was part of a company that they all came together, pooled their content and their information. And then we as affiliates, little did I know I was an affiliate of this company, was selling their stuff. And I learned how to be a digital marketer. See, back then, the company was like nothing online because online there's no social media, right? I was doing Google ads. I was writing content. I was building websites and marketing online. It was funny because when I had my company, I would do an ad online and run a Google ad, and I would send them to an 800 number, which is like absolutely hilarious to think that that's how I started my digital business. And I became the top income earner in that company. And then, of course, I've gone on to several different companies and built my wealth there. But I share this with you because there's one thing that I wish I would have had then that I don't actually have now is a network of people, you know, and a space where if like I needed help with marketing or I needed help with coaching, whatever it might be, just say, this is someone that I can trust or I can truly lean into. And I didn't have that, which is why I've started to see recently these gaps that we're having in our marketplace, right? And what's happening. And also the pressures of all these other companies, they don't usually teach people the right way, or they say, go figure it out yourself. And there's a lot of women, I know there's a lot of women here that are in they're in these type of companies, network marketing, direct sales, they're building their own coaching business, and they want to share their information, but they don't know how to market. So this is why we're bringing this whole unit together, because I've been there. I know what makes those things work. I know how to get to the right audiences. And so to be able to bring the best of the best out and to help you really support you in your business. So I'm excited. Thanks for the patience. For letting me share that, because this is why I'm so passionate about this movement, about you helping your business in the network and helping and having you be part of our book. But oh, there she is. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. All right, so make sure right now that you share the share button. It just popped up because Lynn Rose is getting ready to perform. Get as many people right now, push the button and share it to all of your social media, because I'm going to introduce this woman and we want to get everyone back online. Oh, Lynn, I am so grateful for you, beautiful lady. Let me introduce you properly, though. Besides being a CEO of the two-figure businesses Launch You Now and the Wow Factor, Lynn Rose is a Wow Performance keynoter. Wait till you hear this woman. She's an award-winning entertainer and TV host. She has helped launch 6- and 7-figure plus careers with her media and marketing expertise, and is hired to bring the Wow Factor to events by creating an epic experience while empowering their attendees to stand out in their sales, leadership, and communication. Lynn, I love you. I'm so happy to have you here. Yay! How are you, sister?
I'm so good, sister. I'm so happy to see you, girlfriend.
I know. I was just saying, how long has it been? 12
No
years?
idea. It was
14.
like mid 2000s when we first
I
met.
know, right? It was in Mexico. Was it in Cancun?
Yeah, it was. It was. I remember going, I cannot believe this lady. I love her. Her energy is off the charts. And by the way, that's what it's about, is your energy. But anyway, it was all about the energy. And I was going, oh my gosh, this woman, we just felt this resonance.
Yeah.
And then we stayed in touch from afar and our paths would cross. And look at you now, girl.
And look at you now. I'm so grateful to have you on my stage. My goodness. Right? I've seen her in so many beautiful stages and performing. So today's Intuition Day, Lynn. And we have been having unbelievable women coming through and sharing their wild stories that have, been part of, intuition's been part of that. But I'd love if I could ask you a couple questions before you perform for us, because I know everyone, there's thousands of women here right now. And really looking at like what intuition really means to you, and how has it played a role for you in your life and business?
Thank you so much. It's funny too. I'll just say this transparently. You were reading an old bio of mine.
Okay.
It's all part of who I am, where I come from, right? All of it is. But where I am now and what I'm doing now is like a whole other level and thing. And it's all led to here, kind of like when we look back at other evolutions of our life, right? And so it was interesting, like, oh wow, because it's like this old.
That's that old self, right?
But it's all good. But I speaking of old selves, I should share, to me, what intuition is. It's kind of like what wow is my brand, whether that's Power to Wow Maker, the Wow Factor. Wow has always been kind of my word. I know Unstoppable is kind of like your word with what you use right now, at least. And wow is an acronym for Without Walls. Without Walls, WOW. So what's possible? We can dissolve those barriers to our connection to the divine, to purpose, to each other, to life, to ourselves, so that we can be fully unleashed and fully who we are. And when we're able to dissolve those barriers, and those barriers are our limiting beliefs, the paradigms that we buy into, our negative, our doubts, our fears, our worries, all of that, those the subconscious programming, those are our walls. But when we're able to either know how to manage them, because it's not necessarily making things go away, but it's knowing how to manage it, what you give focus to, what you give power to, what you amplify. When we know how to allow them to dissolve enough to really connect to that true sense of who we are, our true voice, that's where our intuition, I believe, kicks in. Our intuition, for me, I my whole life, I'm sure this is the same for you, and if people look back on their own life, they connect the dots and they go, oh, yeah, but life turned out different than I thought. And sometimes far better than we thought. And if I look at, I was led, and I allowed myself to be led. There's one thing where we can hear it and feel it, and then another thing if we dare to follow it. And so I will share this. Like, I came from entertainment and media, but I always got so much from personal growth and would read books and watch the tapes and go to, and all that stuff. And in the 90s, that's how long ago, that's how old I am. But in the 90s, 1997-ish, I was driving around in my car. And of course, back in the days, radio was the thing. There was no Spotify or XM or whatever. But listening to this show that was a local radio, LA radio show that also was tied into a national syndicate. And it was 24/7 personal achievement radio. And your personal achievement radio. And I loved it. I listened to it every time I got in my car. And I remember hearing this one show, it was an hour-long show. And I thought, I could do better than that. In fact, I think I will. And I went, who said that? Right? It was like, voice spoke. I was like, what? And I went about to figure it out and follow. And then things started happening because I then just went and stepped out. I had no idea how. I'd never hosted a show before. I'd hosted TV, but hosting your own radio show and all of that's a whole other ballgame. And there were just all these divine things that happened, like going into a studio to record a demo, and coming out was the guy at the very show I'd listened to recording that show for the radio program. Anyway, eventually I went into the radio channel, and with my little idea of the show, my little cassette tape, because it was cassette tapes back then, and they took a chance on me, and I signed a 13-week contract, ended up for that year having, you know, primetime show that became #2 show on the station. I got picked up by this syndicate, nationally syndicated show on Personal Achievement Radio, and that was my entree from entertainment and media into this whole world that we get to play in now, you know? But that came from following, and I call that intuition. One could say that was a voice that was speaking to you, the divine speaking to you, God speaking to you. It's all God. It's all energy. Our intuition is really us tuning into the truth, getting out away from the other energies that maybe try to stop us, that aren't the truth, that come out of ego's protection or other things. But then when we tune in to that pure energy, and it's always available to us, and it's available to everyone. And then it's about trusting it. And gosh, does that open up your world.
I love it, sister. Wow, you're getting me. Okay, so I just love it. So, I mean, you're so, like, obviously you're the wow factor. You're so unleashed. But I know, like, some of the women here today, right, are watching, and they're like, how do I be like that? I can't even be like that, right? So what would be your best advice for them? Because we've got, like, thousands of women here, and they're like, you know, I can't be this way. How do I do it? How are you guys so like this, right? But it wasn't always like that.
Oh, no, it was not. And that's the thing to realize, is it doesn't matter where you are right now. Doesn't matter how long you've been going at it, how hard you've tried, how many times you've failed, or how badly you want it, but you just feel you can't. Doesn't mean you're so terrified, so then you feel like you shouldn't. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do it. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't. If anything, it might mean it's such a calling for you. It's for you to take on. But I'll say for me, I had, I'll just jump ahead. I had done a Broadway show, and but I had been performing from a place of where I would just try to control how I came across, but who I really was tucked away in the back.
Oh yeah,
you know,
we know that.
And it was part of just trauma from childhood and things like that. And the Broadway show ended suddenly, and there were some other things happening at the time. For time, I won't go into it now. And when the Broadway show ended out of nowhere, just like 4 days notice, when we thought we were going to have a whole other year going ahead and all this stuff, it triggered something in me that then shut down all my ability to sing, all my confidence. I got racked with the negative voices and the fear and frozen. And I had to leave the entertainment industry for 2 years. And I cocooned. And so what I suggest for folks is, you know, allow ourselves to then be with what's going on. Sometimes we feel like we just want to make it go away. We want to ignore it. And we just try to, you know, do something. Now, it's good to be in action, but you also want to embrace those parts and look at them and be with them. And so I allowed myself to be with that, while also allowing myself to continue to step out and take actions that terrified me at the time. And that means, for me, in my context, was auditioning. So I would show up at an audition unable to sing at like this big audition, and I'm embarrassing, probably. I'm definitely embarrassing for me, but I'm embarrassing to them, I'm sure, because I can't even sing, and my eyes looking around, and I'm terrified, and it's so horrible. So, but I dared to show up, and I dared to suck. I dared to fail. I dared to put myself out there. And yeah, it was really tough. It was so hard, but bit by bit, it started getting better. Bit by bit, I started building that muscle, stepping out, even though I was terrified. And I remember there was this audition where I almost didn't go. Everyone in town was going. It was this huge thing it was for, and I was sick. I almost didn't go. By the way, during this whole time, I was waitressing because I couldn't do anything else, and I was a horrible waitress on top of it. So, and I kudos to the servers out there. But anyway, I almost didn't go because I was so sick. But I made myself go even then. And I think something about being sick allowed my walls to be a little down, a little dissolved. And something came through that they saw. Yeah. And then I got called back, and then it really came out. And then I actually got this mega tour, paid thousands of dollars, toured around the country, and 3-girl group. And all, anyway, it was this it was a triumphant moment. And from that point forward, I then started learning about allowing myself to go ahead and connect from the core of who I am to the core of another person, to allow that out. So I would say to folks listening or watching is to what is that that's burning inside you, and or that you feel that might be there, or that you want, and maybe you don't even know that it's there, but you feel a yearning for that. That's probably your intuition talking to you. That is God coming through you saying, this is in you. I wanted to sing the blues, which we'll hear a little bit, when I go to sing. I could only do soprano before I then lost my voice and found it again, and now in a whole other way. I remember it was impossible. Things that I'm doing now are impossible. Just this past weekend, I opened for Train in Lee Greenwood to a 7,500 seat arena. And I mean, I don't even do, I do still singing here and there, but my focus right now is this social media platform we're launching. Yeah. But it came from being willing to still show up and being willing to face the stuff that was also there, and not make it wrong and not make it go away, but really embrace all of it and then still show up. Now, I feel like I'm saying this in another key piece that's missing, and that is that everything is frequency or a tone. If we had time, I'd show you like the cymatics. It's at the smallest particle. They say the closest thing they can describe in string theory is it's like a musical note. It's vibration. At everything in the universe, at the smallest particle, is a vibration. You could even say is music, but it's vibration. It's energy. Everything is energy. And so when you look at cymatics, it's a tone going through a black plate that's all the sand on it, and it hits a certain tone, and suddenly the sand, without anything else touching it, goes into a pattern. It goes into the next tone, and it breaks up that pattern and goes into another more intricate, beautiful pattern, the higher and higher the tone. That's happening everywhere in life. When we find that tone and we make our tone loud enough and strong enough, and we hold that tone and that frequency of what we want, of who we are, of where we want to head, as opposed to giving frequency and energy and focus to, oh, what if it doesn't work out? And who am I? And what if it's wrong? All the voices that go off. Just let them go on the side. They're going to go off, but you can make louder the tone of what you want, the tone of who you really are, and choose your focus around that and move in that direction. And it's not going to be perfect, but that's what's going to move you forward bit by bit.
Yeah, I love it, sister. Oh my goodness, thank you for that. We're going to have some questions for you after, but maybe you want to throw out one of those beautiful songs you have for us, and we can answer some questions after. Would you prefer to take some questions now? What do you think?
Hey, I don't know. Why don't we do just a little bit? I'll just
so let's do some questions now, because a couple have been coming through, and then we'll have you belt.
I was going to say a little bit of song, but hey, we'll do that. I was going to say I could do like a verse and chorus of the blues.
Okay.
Then we take questions, and if you like, I can answer with the song. Finish with the song that's like the.
Let's do that.
Anthem.
Let's do that. That's great. I love it.
Really?
You go.
Okay, because this all kind of started when I saw you talking about Wild Women, and I'm like, wait a minute, I got a song called Wild Women Never Get the Blues, y'all. You gotta have this song. So, and so you're like, okay, you gotta be on the show, you gotta do this song. So, I don't know, this is not necessarily, who knows how this will translate on the Zoom, on the online. But if everyone at home, if you can snap your fingers, of course you'll be muted. And so this goes out to all the wild women out there and the men who love them. I hear you women talking about your funky men, about your no-count husbands, but complaining never ends. People sit around all day and moan. They wonder why the wonder papas don't come on. But wild women never worry. Wild women never get the blues. Now, if you got a man, don't keep him on the square. 'Cause if you do, he'll find a woman everywhere. Never been known to treat no one man right. I keep him working hard both the day and night. 'Cause wild women, don't worry. Wild women never get the The what? The blues! Yeah!
You are so awesome. We got everyone in here like, yeah! I love it. I loved it when you said that to me. I'm like, oh, you have to please come and sing that for my audience. So good. I love it. So good. You always give me like such movement and energy. All right. So we do have a question for you though. Melody's asking, how did you get so brave with expressing yourself?
Oh man, Melody.
Right?
Let me just say, the longest time, I was just hiding. I wanted to make sure I'd get it right and say it right. And I was always terrified. I was operating, everything's a matrix, right? So I was operating from a deep center point matrix point that I'm a F up. You know, I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm damaged goods. It's a human thing, by the way, but I mean, I had it kind of deeply embedded. And so when you have that deeply embedded, then everything else is like, I got to make sure I say it right. I got to make sure I do it right. And is this okay? Or then maybe I shouldn't speak up at all. You know, all that stuff, right? And then I would still just dare to speak up or dare to say something, but I'd be tense inside. But at least I was willing to do that. I found a way to manage it. And now it started to shift, and everything is a spiral of transformation. You go to the next level, and then there's another level to go to, and then sometimes it kind of comes back around, kind of where you had some of that old stuff, gets a little stirred up again for next level to heal, right? And so I'm now in this place I'm discovering this newer place actually, where that core matrix center point is I'm a badass. Or I could use the Rhonda, I'm a wild woman. So make your core matrix, I'm a wild woman. And you don't worry about what people think. That is a core matrix point too. The sooner we can not worry about what will our parents think, our friends think, the public think, the neighbors think. I just yelled, right? You know, just you want to have respect and thoughtfulness and consideration, but I mean, not worry about, what would their opinion of me be? And when we can free ourselves of that, and we give that, what we worry about, or not worry about, what our focus is what we think and feel about ourselves and how we connect to the world, what we want and what we feel as we tune into intuition and the divine. And then it's freeing. It doesn't have all the other weeds of the walls of the other stuff, which really comes from those core matrix points, which aren't the truth. Yeah. So I believe it's just trust that factor and give yourself a break. When you see judgment come up, just go, that's that voice, and don't buy into it. Don't make it wrong that it comes up, but then be willing to still just show up, still try to express. Whether you get it wrong, fall on your face, they think XYZ what they think, so what? You're then showing up. And that means you're showing up for yourself, or you're expressing for yourself. And it's scary, and it's okay. And just keep trying the littlest bit. The smallest hinge swings open big doors. So take the littlest actions or the littlest opportunities and then start building from there.
Oh my goodness, I love it. That's amazing. She's like, yay, thank you so much. All right, so Leela says, what do you do when you do lose your confidence and it hasn't come back yet? What would best advice that you would get, right?
This is a girlfriend, right? This is a girlfriend asking this?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Leela.
Leela, girlfriend. I've been there so many times. And it's hard, isn't it? Like, wait a minute, where's my confidence? Or sometimes like I've been confident, now you're around someone you're intimidated by, all of a sudden the confidence disappears, or something happens and now you've let it hurt your confidence, whether that's a relationship ending or a job you didn't get, or you screwed up somewhere, whatever that is. Yep. Gosh, I feel like it's the same, in a way, the same answer. Where are we bringing our focus? To understand it's human to make mistakes. And if anything, we have to make mistakes in order to grow and learn. We have to fail in order to succeed. I would always hear that, and it sounded great and it cheered me on. It made me feel not so bad about whatever failures, but it was really hard for me to believe until now. I so get it. So that you win whether you get it wrong, you get it right, you win. Because you're either learning or growing or both, or winning. And so when you're in a way, you're framing your perspective, and then that will drive everything. So frame the perspective of whether I get it wrong or get it right, I'm winning. Frame your perspective, create an affirmation of that everything that's happening to me is for my good. It may not feel like it. It can be things that are devastating too.
Yeah.
But there's always something like, I had this is a silly one, but I had a fall at the airport today. I tripped and went flying and landed right on my knee with all the weight on it. I couldn't get up off the ground. I couldn't put any weight on it. It was excruciating pain. They had to wheel me in a wheelchair onto the airplane. And I'm really high tolerance for pain, but I was bending over in pain, and they had all these ice packs. And they wanted to maybe have the medics not have me get on the plane. I said, I'll do it when I get in LA. We get in LA, wheel off the plane. I did a lot of energy work and actually helped. They also gave me some ibuprofen. And then they had the medics come and I waited all this time and whatever. Then they had all this stuff until finally now I'm on the shuttle to take me to the lift. Well, of course, my timing is completely different than had I not fallen and just done a normal flight. Well, guess who sits next to me on the shuttle? Is this gal who's my neighbor, not neighbor, but I mean, she's and lives in the same town, Marina Del Rey. And I just met her at a conference, we like that sisterhood, but we both kind of went our separate ways, our sisterhood. And clearly we're meant to reconnect, and we're meant to, there's some divine way here. And my knee is fine right now. And even if my knee hadn't been, there would be some gift of learning in there, and something, I love it. We can frame our lives so that it empowers us versus disempowers us. And it's okay if you're insecure sometimes. It's okay. Just take the judgment off yourself.
Yeah. Wow.
And then that's going to free up so many weeds and weight.
Oh, so good. I love that. And look at, you're here today. We're like, oh my goodness, what you went through already today. I really appreciate it, Lynn. And that's such beautiful advice. So thank you for being you. Would you like to share your final parting vocals for us?
Oh, yes. Now, can we do this by allowing me to share screen? Is that allowed?
I think so. Yeah, it should be fine, right? Can we make Lynn the co-host?
All right. Give me permission to share screen. All right. So one moment. And
there we go. We're making you Lynn Rose. She's the co-host.
Okay. I'm just making sure I got it good to go. There we go. Okay. Sharing screen. Get up my video and sound. You'll see the lyrics, and I'm going to sing along to my own voice in the song, just so you can really, hear what the song is meant to be. And this is the anthem of transformation. I wrote this with the Coen Brothers, and it actually speaks to where you feel that locked inside, but then what it feels like when you leap into the unknown and you just go for it. Okay, so here we go.
Yes. Okay.
Do you hear it loud enough?
Yeah. There we go.
Lived inside a shell, locked myself away. I hid from all the life waiting there for me. I couldn't face the pain. Every day went on the same. Now I have to take a chance, trust in what could be. Wanna break wide open. Oh, my heart is breaking open. Oh, let go. Deep into the unknown. You never know till you try. Ready, we're going for and go. Reach where you dare to go. Taking the chance to live on the other side of pain. story is the same. Now we can change the past, play a different game. It frees you from the chains that all of you's embraced. Now all that will remain is who you're meant to be. Let your heart break open. Ooh, your heart is breaking open.
Dancing for you.
This is what we call the girl band.
I love
so
it.
good.
Were you dancing? I was singing, so I couldn't see. Oh, cool.
We love you. All right, I'm going to bring Amy Bingham on in just a minute. Lynn, I love you so dearly. Thank you for being in our life and for sharing your gifts to the world and for what you bring. It is always a true honor to support another soul sister that is doing her work in the world and here to change and here to create change. So I love you dearly. Thank you for being here, darling.
Thank you. Love you.
Love
Keep
you
it
too.
wild.
Oh,
Much
yeah,
love.
let's stay wild. We'll see you soon.
Woo. Bye.
Bye, darling. All right, amazing. All right, so let's give some shout outs here. What did you guys think of this wild little dance party that we had? So we've got some really amazing shout outs though, but I want to welcome Sandra's a new Wild Network member. Congratulations to Shelly, Cheryl, Sherry, Tina, Megan, Arlene, Dana, Diane, Karen, Lonnie, Maria, Mary Jo, Patricia. Wow, so amazing. Congrats, welcome into the Wild Woman world and welcome to the Wild Women Network. And I'm just super excited to have you guys here. So I want you to stick around. We are bringing in now, we're shifting up the stage again, and we're bringing our live guest, Amy Bingham, and you're going to absolutely love her story. And so watch this proof reel a bit here right now, and we'll bring her right in, and everything's going to change. Magic.
Buckle up for the ride, girlfriend, because it's going to be wild.
You can absolutely be unstoppable.
One of the best things is the actual community. The women, they're incredible. All of them.
The most amazing experience I've ever had. And it was really a catalyst for a major change in my world.
It's just so amazing to see so much talent. So much.
You can be completely inspired here in this space.
I get to freely express all of the gifts that I came to this planet with.
You know, Rhonda is such a great leader in these things.
You know, she's just such a powerhouse, right?
Rhonda is the queen of all queens. She's a force to be reckoned with, right? When she commits to something, she's gonna commit to it and go all the way with it and make it big and bold. That is who she is as a person.
To keep pushing, to keep believing in my dreams.
Has it made me transform into somebody bigger and better than I could possibly imagine? But it's helped me transform women all around the world to become the sexy goddess that they are meant to be.
They told us about the Unstoppable family, and we checked them out, and we were so blown away about this family. We're traveling all over the world and living this freedompreneur lifestyle.
And I was not a business owner, a business manager, CEO before I knew Rhonda. And because of Rhonda, I am now.
Going wild is really being who I am, being authentic.
It is about coming back to our very innate nature.
And to kind of show other women how they can do that also. It's super important to me because I spent 30 years adhering to social norms and hiding who I really was under wigs to conform to what society told me I should look like.
It's just being able to do what you naturally do as a woman, right? We lead differently. We look differently. We speak differently. And it's okay because each of us have our unique ways of communicating that.
I can reclaim that, and I can inspire my son to, reach and stretch and explore and rebel,
So creating a beautiful space to be able to acknowledge each other, to be vulnerable, to have a safe space that it's not going to go outside of there, you're not judged, and you can truly just let your guard down, embrace that beautiful side of yourself and express it just in a beautiful, loving way. So that, to me, is Women Gone Wild.
They have the knowledge, the resources, they know the strategy and how to do all of this stuff. And so it was really impressive. It was just like, boom,
If you're looking to bring something amazing to this world,
if you are feeling discontented, if you are not entirely happy with your life, if you need some inspiration,
just trust you're in the right arms, the right hands, and like she says, jump and build your wings on the way down.
We all have a voice. We all have a story. We all have something important to say, and so do you.
We're back. Oh, I love it. How amazing was Lynn Rose, right? She is so divine. So I'm so excited, ladies. I mean, every time I get to see this experience rolling out, it just really gets me excited. But more importantly, it allows me to really tune in to what we're creating together. So I want you to listen to your gut, connect with your inner knowing, and do things that will elevate you. This is exactly how I started operating when I started to listen to my life's purpose and to help other women step into their divine feminine. And so I want to help you share your stories and your gifts to the world in a way that is very accepted and very feminine. No push, no shove, more bringing and attracting. And that's what we're doing right now. So the women that are inside of this network are going to be looking for you. In fact, thousands of them will be coming back once we relaunch it. But today's the opportunity for you to actually be part of the foundation of it, right? So if you are a content creator, coach, consultant, and you want to bring your work into the network, this is your opportunity to do it. And once we launch it to the public, wow, it's going to be wild and amazing. So make sure that before you end today, you get that spot inside the network. We've actually opened up, some ladies had asked, is there a payment plan? There is. We put that together for you so that it makes it much easier for you to handle. Our team's going to handle everything. You're going to call from them. They're going to walk you through it, and all you do is hand it off to them. And so we have got this set up in the way women want to work and be treated. I always say it's like the, like what is one of the top, like Lord & Taylor's or one of those big fancy places, that women shop at. I don't even been in the States in so long I don't remember the shopping centers anymore. That means I got to get back somewhere. But they know how to create the experience, right? it's like that experience. Like when you walk in, everything's really there for you. You know, you get a champagne invitation, you sit and you can shop. But that's what we're creating, is the women's white glove treatment being inside of this network. And you will be treated like the queen that you are, so that more queens can come and learn from you. So I'm excited though. I've got a very special guest who's live right here. There's 2 chairs here now in the studio, and you're going to absolutely love her. Her name is Amy Bingham, and she is determined to not only be anything less than her strongest self. She spends years navigating life through being single, losing a child, raising 2 kids, working in a very male-dominated industry, and living through grief and emotionally healing herself and others along the way. She is a self-made warrior of love. She's in good company. She takes every event, situation, or challenge in her life and finds a way to understand how it's serving her highest self. As the owner of Lean Into Your Glow, she shares her very real and raw depths of experiences and supports others in healing through books, speaking, and more. So I can't wait to go and get Amy Bingham to bring her back. Let's go. Amy! Hello, darling!
Love.
So good
Love.
to see you. I'm so happy that you are here. Let's come in and have a seat. We've been, having an intuition
Grand
talk
old time.
today. Really yesterday was all about wealth. And Leah was here, actually. She was in the seat. Everyone really got to tap into some Leah Steele wealth knowledge. And we were deconstructing financial slavery yesterday. It was pretty amazing. Everyone's deconstructing. And today is about intuition. It's about following that inner guidance counsel, that gut feeling that when things don't feel right, that you listen and you actually take action on what your mind or what your body's telling you, not what your mind is telling you. And so I'm really happy I wanted to bring you here live, because certainly you're in Bali, but you've got a really beautiful intuition story. And I'd love to have you share it with everyone, and then we'll start kind of going through some of the things that you, highlight.
Oh, right. Like at this time of a day and age where we're at in the world, everything that's going on, it's so important for us to get back to that living pure divine intuition, just being guided by that. I remember years ago, I was at a place that I could not recognize the difference between fear, gut instinct, intuition, my soul's and spirit, team guiding me, my insecurities, everything was just a jumbled mess.
Well, this was someone actually just brought this up. So this is really beautiful, because there was a question that came through, like, how do I know? Like all these things, right? What is it?
Yeah, and we question all of it. We don't know which one to follow.
Yeah.
It's such chaos in our head, right? Is this the one? We don't know the feeling of what that's like. And when you're following your soul's purpose, your soul, you're being guided by your soul, there's so much peace with it. But again, it's still hard to get to that place if we have a lot of fear, because our ego will just come swooping in, swooping right in. It will find its opportunity.
Yeah.
I was at a place where we're going to go to some depths here. I was at a place that when I would lay down at night, I would hope that God would take me in my sleep. And waking back up and realizing I'm still here and I still need to do this again. And how do I navigate it? Had no clue how to navigate, where to navigate. Even identifying my emotions again versus fear. And really, this is where the work begins. To be able to tap into your intuition, there is a million layers of releasing that has to happen. Otherwise, you're in that mess of trying to identify, is this fear? Is this my insecurities? Are these my limiting beliefs? Are these beliefs of mine that I've always had that need to shed away? So how do you get to that point of really being able to identify that? And it's in that releasing process, letting go. At a certain point in my grief process, I was doing a lot of work, a lot of soul work. And I finally could hear my intuition tell me something that I was whole enough, strong enough, that I could push my ego aside trying to step in. But what my intuition was telling me is it's time to 100% let go of grief, Grief no longer works for me. And we attach that word and the emotions to that also means that I can't miss my child anymore. Does that mean I can't still celebrate him and his life? Like, there's so much attachments to that.
Well, I don't, did you, like, maybe you should share that, because that story of, you know, like, that's a big thing.
Yeah, so a good 6 years ago, I'd gone through quite a bit in 1 year, multiple miscarriages back to back, and was on my third pregnancy in a very short time frame. And 5 months pregnant, my 17-year-old son died by suicide, and it was a very sudden, unexpected tragedy. And a few months later, gave birth, and that was a very, very hard thing. I didn't know how to be a mom again. That was fear, massive fear of actually stepping back into a role of being mother again. And a few months after that, divorce, and so just chaos. My whole world in every way, shape, and form went down. And it took a long time to pull from that. But what even in the mix of all of that, I always stayed true to, how does this serve me? What is this trying to teach me? What am I to gain? You know, how can my soul gain from this experience? And that's a hard thing to navigate when you're dealing with some real extreme trauma. And to have a way to navigate how it's serving you. So much of it for me was to get real and vulnerable. I always led from my masculine energy, and I was the emotional rock that never had to break down in any situation.
Right.
We didn't have to, and we took pride in that.
Yeah, right?
And so what really came through was how vulnerable and the depths of vulnerability I needed to get to, and in seeing that I needed help also, that I needed to be taken care of, that I needed to allow others to actually step up and support me, and that was the biggest battle for me. It took years. I still was seeking to help everyone else, avoiding myself. But it served me, right? In those moments, we feel like we're feeling like we're giving that love and we're receiving that love, and that there is a healing essence in that. But until you get to a place where it's only you and your soul, nothing else in the world, nothing else in your mind, nothing else in your environment, when you are that anchored and willing to be one with your soul and truly ask, what does my soul need? A lot will come up. You know, if you really sit in those moments and ask yourself that, you will be amazed at what comes up. I started getting in the habit of, and this is where you can really get playful with identifying what's in your way. What are the fears? What are the blocks that are really limiting us from tapping into our intuition? And just asking your higher self that, what is in the way? Where are my blocks? You'll be amazed at what comes up, and to lean into that and really sit with it, which is massive fear in itself, right?
Yeah, wow.
So, you know, I started navigating down a road of, if I no longer fear death, because I was at that place that I was willing at any point in time for God to say, okay, you're done now. Let's move on. If I no longer fear death, then I finally was able to switch things and say, well, then I shouldn't fear anything in this life. Anything, any experience, any thought, any person I want to become no longer can have fear over me. So I started making a list. You know, it's not the bucket list, but it was my fear list. And in the very beginning, it was really easy, right? It was easy to identify, oh, I fear skydiving, you know, that would be scary. Let's do that. Or scuba diving, or, you know, public speaking, that was on my list. So I started navigating through all of those things and really nipping fear out of the way, releasing that fear, those blocks that we have in us. And then it got real. Then it started getting to the point of what was on my fear list is to live a full, happy life as a grieving mom. That's where it got really, really scary for me. And I thought, how do I do this? how to be okay with wanting a full life, a happy life where there's no more heartache, no more depths of that grief, and to let go. And that's where the work, right? That's there's a lot of work that's involved in that. But it's releasing that and constantly pulling up what is standing in my way of me living my highest, truest self. What are those blocks and what's standing in that way? Many things would come up, like maybe forgiveness work. And then you got to really sit with that forgiveness work.
What is forgiveness work? Because I think that's going to be something that stands out, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so much in forgiveness.
Yep. And instantly we think that, that means, who on our list do we have to forgive? Who else do we have to forgive? But everything comes back to self-love. Yeah. Every part of our human experience and living it in the most vibrant way, everything comes back to self-love and the forgiving of ourselves. If we can forgive ourselves, that's out there that it's going to navigate in any experience we have with anybody else. Yeah. If we can't forgive ourselves, it's harder to navigate anywhere outside of that.
So this is really, because we've been talking about this all day, right? A lot of the women are like, come back, go inwards. Lilith took us on a meditation just to calm us down so we can start tapping in and leaning in and listening to our intuition. But when it comes to self-love, is that just spa, would you say? Is that, what is self-love, right? Because I know that's going to come up and it's such a big thing.
So we go to the easy thing. Spa day. Go spend a day at Target, girls, right? No, it's, again, a much deeper level of that. This is where we hear the term a lot of shadow work. So if we can identify in somebody else something that kind of irks us or that upsets us or triggers us, if we turn it around and recognize that actually exists within us, then how are we going to nurture and self-love that? I mean, that's an immediate way to come back in and where are the aspects that I need to love and appreciate myself more. And self-love is more on that, the emotional, the mental, yes, physical. We all want the physical self-love too, right? But our soul, and we can always tap back into our inner child, right? Going back to childhood, what was it that we ached for then? What was it that was devastating for us then? That's what's calling to us now, still as adults, to go back in and love.
Yeah, I love that you say that. I remember, I've done a lot of this work recently too, and just sat still with myself and did a lot of shadow work. And that I love that, that Rhonda that gets like this, or that Rhonda that's like this, because you start to, it's like you're almost guilty for that person that shows up. Yeah. Right? And we put so much of that on ourselves. And I did the same with the young Rhonda. And it was like, what was I always asking for? And I was always asking just to be seen by my family and my parents, just to be heard and just to be loved, right? Because they were so busy. There was always things going on and other kids. And it's like, this is the stuff that we put on ourselves. I mean, our parents, they loved me, right? But we forget sometimes, we say, they didn't, but they did their best. Yep. But when you can go, that's what I was always yearning for, just give yourself that back.
That's what you need, right? That is always what you can tap into of what your higher self needs. I also do it view it as what does my child self need. I mean, there's a huge connection between those two things. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your glow. I love this. What is it? Help yourself glow.
Lean into your glow. So when we release all of these blocks and fears and we release all of this, I mean, there's just this massive glow that people can see in you now. You can feel it, you can see it. And in those moments, you can tap into so much of your intuition. So give a little bit of a story of even my journey of why I'm here physically in Bali with you. And, months ago, I was definitely in a place of saying there's something bigger for me. There's something bigger in the world that I'm supposed to be serving and what I should be doing. And the way of surrendering into that is a beautiful process. And you can do that when your fears are gone and when you're trusting. You know, when you get to a place that you know you are 100% divinely guided, 100% divinely supported, all fear walks out the door right then and there. And that's where you're immediately connected back to your inner glow, your soul, your higher self is when you're in that trust. So anytime I get stuck in moments, it's recentering myself back in. I know I'm 100% divinely guided, divinely supported. And so earlier this year, I had some very big messages from my guides. One moment it's, you're going to move to Bali. And I legit had to Google where Bali was.
Wow.
Had never been. Didn't know anybody here. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what did I just hear? And this is how far across the world? And I'm looking at it and I can just feel my soul have this massive connection to it. And I thought, oh, isn't there somewhere closer? Back in America, right? Family in America, isn't there somewhere much closer? And I started looking into other places and immediately my heart broke. I thought, okay, I'm listening. I'm here. I know I'm supported. I know I'm guided. You want me in Bali? I feel that. I sense that, and I trust it. And as soon as I surrendered into that, everything moved massively quick. I mean, it was immediately quit your 20-year career as a software developer. Like, just check that out.
This was only 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, 5 months ago.
Like literally, she quit everything and came to Bali. And do you know where you're going at this point now?
It is, I'm on this mission of really helping anchor people back in to their intuition, just women being led and guided by it. And it's so hard to do because we have so many external opinions really looking for proof or facts or give me details. Tell me what you're doing and what you're doing next.
Yeah.
Me, I'm still being guided day by day. I have no idea what is next for me each day. And that's something I lean into every single day. What is it that will best help support not only myself, but the collective is the mission that I'm on. And so many times when I say, okay, and I'm getting a little frustrated, I'm like, guys, just give me some small detail. Give me something, right? I get slapped upside the head. I mean, I will fill my head just jolt.
Right?
And it's like, that's not for you.
Yeah.
Trust.
Well, we've got, trust is it. We've got some questions that are going to start coming through, and they just gave me the trigger to get some more questions in so we can get more of the story out here, because I love that you've just followed that guidance, right? And where it's taking you. So Jillian's first question is, does the fear and grief ever come back? And what do you do if it does? So we are conditioned to believe that it's something we'll live with for the rest of our life. That's something that I navigated with for a very long time. If anything pops up like that for me, I get back fully centered in that I'm divinely guided and divinely supported and back in on my mission. It's something that you are meant to feel and really heal from. If that's coming back up, that's a trigger and a sign that there's still something there that needs to be healed. And so it's in those moments of leaning back into that. What is this? It's going to be some fear base that maybe you may, lose memories. You may have fear of remembering, your loved ones. But there's so much attachment that's around that too. There's a lot of things that we need to release that have those forms of attachment back to the grief. And I won't be very popular by really voicing some of these things, but even releasing their items, their physical items, that is something that there's energy behind that, but there's also power behind that. Power behind the releasing and stepping into a full new version, higher consciousness version that you want to step into. Yeah, that's beautiful. Kelly's asking, I have a similar personal story, but I've never been brave enough to share it. How did you find the courage to share knowing others would judge you? Really great question, Kelly. Thank you.
Yes. It's hard. It's very hard. I knew in the very beginning that I would be that I was meant to share my story. And I hid for a very long time of the knowing that I had. I have a knowing, my son passed by suicide, but I had a knowing that this was actually for both of ours, higher consciousness, to raise the consciousness. And again, that is something scary to really, really speak to. But I had that knowing, and I knew that I couldn't prance around or really hide behind that, as all that was going to do is just keeping that fear and the attachments.
Yeah. Wow. I cannot imagine. I can empathize with you. You know, someone told me a while back, we had a very close friend who'd passed away, and it was so hard to explain it to Hanalei, right? Like, how do you explain how these young, people leave this planet so quickly? And they said something to me that was just like, it really helped me share with her, and she understood. It's like, we are all coming here for the human experience, and some of us come because there was one last thing that we needed to do, or someone that we needed to inspire, or just the impact that we needed to leave, or we needed to heal one little last thing. And that's why they were only in this world for such a short period of time. So I remember being young, going, why God would ever take away a baby or take away, but there's those little things that they're their soul's calling. Yes. That was, that needed to be fulfilled on. Last question for you, love, is Barbara, how do you tap into your intuition? Like, how do you start tapping into it? That's been coming up constantly all day.
Right? How do we do that? We have to quiet our mind. So really, really, meditation is a massive leap if you've never started down the road of meditation, really, really tapping into that. But it's being able to quiet your mind, quiet that space, because our intuition is subtle. It's very quiet. It's not demanding. It's not loud. It's not going to give you very, very direct, strict orders. It's quiet, and it's finding that place that when you feel you are in that peace, that centered peace, that's when you listen. That's when you're in the place to really hear, really listen.
Yeah, I love that, Amy. Thank you so much. Great questions, everyone. There is one question that looks like it came in for me about being a business owner, and is the network a good idea for you? I haven't done many videos. Well, that's why we're creating the network, so that you can actually learn and watch how others do it. But I would say anyone that's starting a business, the very best way that you can actually start getting your message clear and understood is to start sharing it, start doing film, getting your message out there in front of more people. And what a better, safer place than to do it inside of a network of other women. My best suggestion, though, would be you're probably not ready for a channel, which is like a complete channel. You're the star, your podcasts, your shows, your content, all the things that you do will go inside of that channel. There's sales funnels, you can make offers and things such as that. And we're going to show you how to do all that stuff. But I'd say you probably would want a collection. You can be part of the Wild collection and begin to tune in your knowledge base into that message, so that you can really start to get to know it. I mean, I'm an expert in branding, and my branding team is going to be doing branding calls for all new clients inside of the network, and showing you how to get that message out there, how to craft it, right? How to actually position yourself properly. And so there's a lot of really amazing content that's going to come through the network for you. So I would say absolutely yes, you are in the right space, in the right place. So, all right, we've got some big shout outs though. Make sure that you stick around too, because I'm gonna be back and we're gonna finalize the very last video of the day, and I'm gonna come out and really close it up for y'all. But I wanna shout out to Amelia in Leeds, Olivia in Melbourne, Ruby in Charlotte, Mia in Hamburg, New Delhi is Sanvi, Angels in Paris, Martina's in Milan, Zeynep is Istanbul, and Lucia is in Madrid. So amazing to have you all over the world. We've got people coming in from everywhere, and it's so great to have you all here. So Amy, thank you for being here, my dear. So amazing to have you. Make sure that you leave some comments as well inside of the group. We'll have Amy pop on over there and answer some questions you've got. Thank you, my dear. It's so great. Thanks for being wild. All right, watch this last video, and I'll be right back to close it up with you.
Hey there, this is Kat Stancic, the lead boss, and I've hijacked Rhonda's webcast for a super important reason, and I'm going to let you in on a huge secret that you are going to love.
By the way, I'm underneath my daughter's bunk bed because I want to get the audio sound just right for this. Anyway,
back to the video. Here's the thing. I never recommend anything that I don't believe in from anyone who I don't like. And the truth is, I not only like Rhonda, I trust her and I respect her. But real quick, with all the content-rich conversations going on during this live webcast, I'm going to give you a kind of mental break. Consider this a mini vacation from this very full day of valuable lessons, experiences, and business-expanding ideas. So here's your quiet moment of reflection. Okay, I don't know what you know about Rhonda, but one thing's for sure, she knows exactly how to help women like us get our message and mission out there in a big way so we can grow our businesses fast and create a positive impact. And guess what? You might be thinking this is just another info course, training series, or program. Newsflash, not even close. We know the last thing you need is yet another program that takes hours and hours to get through, or another tech tool that looks awesome, but just makes you want to throw your computer out the window. The Wild Network is different. It's the only platform of its kind designed by women for women. Because we know that what you really need is a way to get content you've already got and your expertise or passion out there in the world. It's heartbreaking to spend time creating valuable content that could be so helpful, but isn't, because no one sees it. We all know what it feels like to log into most platforms. It's one interruptive ping, push, pressure attempt after another. But when you log onto the Wild Network, you're entering a new space. With the Wild Network, we've already built a community of 100,000 women strong and growing to help you get more visibility and create meaningful connections. We know you've got a story or a message that matters, and you want to get it in front of more people you can positively impact. So Rhonda created this platform to do exactly that. As part of the Wild Network, you'll attract your perfectly aligned audience fast. And best of all, you don't need to produce any new content to make this happen. Just take what you've already got sitting on your hard drive or YouTube or Facebook, plug it into the Wild Network, and watch things grow. Our network is just 5 simple steps built around 5 core features. Step 1, choose your Wild level, then set up your profile and visibility level using Resyndicator. Step 2, link to your products, programs, services with the invisible selling engine, Funnel Zero. Step 3, share your status as a featured Wild expert, leveraging your Wild Media Kit, the Brandstorm. Step 4, focus on what matters as you watch your content spread like wildfire via Social Blaze. Step 5, connect with the community, then give and receive easily trackable referrals thanks to Recommendify. Oh, and if that's not fantastic enough, we've also got some awesome secret bonuses to throw in right now. See that little countdown clock? Somewhere beside this video? Well, it's the bearer of some exceptionally good news for you. Right now, while that clock is ticking, you've got a chance to get some very special countdown bonuses. And these are bonus gifts we know you just can't find anywhere else because we want to help you succeed even more. Wild bonus number 1, Wild Network ad spots. Feature your products, programs, and services across the Wild Network in targeted ad spots. Our smart AI matches what viewers are interested in with what offers we show, so it never feels like a pushy interruption, but instead like the exact thing they were hoping to see. Wild bonus number 2, imagine being featured in Women Gone Wild magazine. It'll be a great positioning and credibility builder you can share with your potential clients and current clients, and it'll help you get more media coverage too. Wild bonus number 3, get a personal column in Women Gone Wild magazine. Join as a rock star for your own channel. We'll also give you your own column in Women Gone Wild magazine. Wow, awesome bonuses, right? That's because we want you to feel appreciated, welcomed, and special like the wild woman you are. Now we've got one more big bonus for you. When you join before the timer counts down, you'll get a free membership in the Wild Women Mastermind. It's an invite-only, once-a-month think tank and networking session hosted by Rhonda and her team, where you connect with other wild women and create a bigger impact and so much more. So don't wait. We'll have to take away this bonus as soon as it fills. Go ahead and click that button before the clock clicks down to 0. Why wouldn't you click that button? Get your spot before the network fills up, because this isn't just some unlimited digital program or downloadable. There's actually a hard limit to how many channels and collections we can let in right now. Quick time check. Is it deadline o'clock yet? Did you miss out on this? Not yet? Okay, cool. Because it's time for you, my friend, to finally get seen everywhere that matters. Finally. And here's your sign. So as you click the button, know that what's waiting for you on the other side is the visibility and growth you've been looking for. And you know that's worth investing in, especially at this crazy introductory offer. Go ahead and click that button now. Time's almost up.
We are back, and we're almost finalizing this day of intuition. What a powerful day, though, right? And I think I want to make sure all of you are interacting and sharing us inside of the comments. Like, what did you get from today? What did you tap into the deepest? And what are you really leaning into? All right, so before I wrap us up, I really want to talk about this biggest thing that many of you guys have been asking, and there's a lot of questions coming through. So my team said, look, let's help them really understand what it is that you are doing and why are you building this wild network, which is going to be, and it currently is right now, it's actually the only largest women's content network that's ever been created for women by women, right? And so the reason why I built this network is, first off, is because I notice a massive gap inside of the marketplace, especially noticing it for women in business. It's something that keeps so many women out of control with their mission and what they want to do within a business. They all know that valuable content is what helps every person. And that's really the key to when it comes to succeeding. But for me, my content was spread so far thin, too many different social media platforms. In fact, I was telling everyone today, my live has launched. This should have thousands and thousands of people watching. I have a massive audience, 100 people watch this live stream. That doesn't even make any sense. You know why? It's because these greater forces that are controlling social media, which are also suppressing the messages, is what's happening. And we know that this is going to be a place that's going to be obsolete. So what do we do then? Unless I was literally constantly marketing and paying for expensive traffic, I wasn't getting enough people or customers into my funnels and into my business. So right now, with the changes that are taking place, social media is really starting to fleet. And I want to start preparing all of you and all of us so that we don't have to worry. Because I have a large, massive group of male marketers that are like, wow, there's no space that we can actually learn what women want, how to market to them, and also how to help them grow their business, because they're teaching all of these men. You're learning from all of these men. So why not learn from the women that are doing it, right? So the Wild Network is my way of helping other women prepare for how to place our content in front of the right people in very big numbers. Social media platforms are censoring videos, guys. And ladies, I keep saying guys. But top influencers, even with the best content, are getting a very handful of views and comments, especially when it comes to our video. But we all know that video is what makes people know, like, and trust us. So I've had my team build the Wild Network to help prepare you and I for all of these growing gaps in social media. And so what I wanted to do with this is to help you see where those gaps are for you and to bring out and create funnels and ways that we can help you grow your business. But the thing is, this is the thing for funnels. So many people and women are getting stuck when it comes to building a sales funnel. They're pretty masculine, right? In almost every single way. Now, I've learned how to create them for the last 15 years, but I realized, why aren't women using a funnel? Some of them are, but they're super mechanical. Their processes, they're push, they're squeeze, they convert, they indoctrinate people. And every one of those words are super masculine driven words. As women, our ways are centered around nurturing, and we like to help, we want to serve, we want to create impact. These are wild women words. So when it comes to funnels, most other women I know have neither the wherewithal nor actually the investment money nor do they want to deal with the mechanical or the tech side. Like, this is a very big reality. So I thought to myself, how about if I, as someone who's done all the work for the last 15 years plus, helps you build something so that you have all the funnels, all the technology set up for you. And what if you didn't need to even feel salesy or slimy because you're only connecting and sharing your gifts with the world? And imagine how great it would feel when getting in front of exactly the right people so that you can create massive audience on exactly the right time and right place for you. On your own, in your own way, without ever feeling like you and your content are spread too thin no matter what. This is what the Wild Network's about. You, everywhere that matters. And finally, we make the deals and connections for you to syndicate your content, 40 plus major networks and platforms instantly. Like, syndication is massive. Do you realize how much team it takes for you to syndicate stuff, to get it to different social platforms, different press releases? Like, it's a lot of work and you need a massive team to do it. But we've created it and embedded it inside the network for you. And the way that we do that is through one of the most powerful features on the platform. It's called the Resyndicator. This is innovating technology that syndicates your featured content to major networks and platforms like Amazon Prime, MSNBC, BBC, Mashable, People Magazine, Washington Post, LA Times, Hollywood Digest, like you name it. I have a PR firm, right? I have all of this at my access. This is plug in play and profit for wild women. Think of it like that, like a digital version of Paradise Island, home of Wonder Woman and the Amazon warriors. We've already built a community of over 100,000 women strong, and it's growing to help you get more visibility and create meaningful connections. Because we know you've got a story or message that matters. And when you want to get it in front of the right and more people, you want to create and position yourself so you can create more impact, right? So we're on a mission to help you start a business, to expand a business, to reach a bigger audience, and to hit a bigger impact that you ever could imagine. And you're going to attract a big, perfectly aligned audience to you fast because they're already in there. We've already got the right people inside of the network that is bringing the crowd. You could be one of them. And best of all, you actually don't need to produce any new content. So what we're doing now, so especially for those of you that are brand new, that are coming in, because you're going to be the launch pad of this network, of this new audience that's coming forward, other than the ones that are already participating. You're going to take just what you already have. You've got it sitting around on your social, in maybe in a hard drive, you haven't done it, or maybe you've got podcasts, and we're going to help you plug and play it in. Our team's going to do the work for you. That means visibility, getting found and being seen by future clients, customers, promotional partners, and podcast hosts. Right? This is where they're going to come looking. I'm going to do all the reach outs. I'm going to create those connections and say, you need to come in here to find these women. This is what we're building. So they're going to come looking for us. It also means bigger and better connections, connecting with each other, influencers and change makers, to increase your circle of reach as you're building key relationships that grow your business and put you more in control of your life. Because here's the thing, it breaks my heart when I see a wild woman spending time creating valuable content that could be so helpful, but no one ever sees it. We all know what it's like logging in to most social platforms. It's one interrupted ping, push, pressure, an attempt after another. Like, it drives you kind of crazy. But when you log onto the Wild Network, you're entering a new space where things are suddenly start to make sense. Our network is designed to be simple. In just 5 steps, built around our 5 core features. One is the Wild Producer. You decide to be a Wild Producer. That means you get your own channel. Right? Your own channel that is all your wares, your podcast, your content, everything that you build. Then you select the visibility level where our Resyndicator pushes it out for you. 2 is Funnel Zero. We're going to create an invisible selling machine for you, for your products, for your services. So you're not selling. People that are watching and coming to the network are actually deciding which one they want to take, which one they want to accept. So next, you're going to leverage your Wild Media Kit. That's called our Brandstorm, to share your status. Like, it's almost like your verification blue tick mark, right? When someone sees a W next to your name, they know you're a Wild Network content producer. 4 is focus on what matters. Watch your content spread like wildfire with our social blaze. You click it once, it goes to all of the social platforms. And then last is our Recommendify. This is the one I'm so excited about. This is what I've spent 15 years, millions of dollars to create something like this. It's Recommendify, where you connect with the community and you give and receive trackable referrals. Do you realize, like, you can literally search for a need that you have and you know they're already a Wild Woman verified member? That's what we're looking for. Connections and a Rolodex is what people want. They pay millions. I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be in certain masterminds, to be next to certain people, to get access to them. So these 5 core features are designed for us to succeed together, because we know that one Wild Woman alone is powerful, but together we can change the world. And like I said, there are one main feature for you to be inside of the network, and that is to be and have your own channel. It's almost like you're going into Amazon Prime, right? And there's like HBO's a channel. You open it up and then there's all of the options and collections, right? That's what we're creating. If you have courses, you can input your courses onto your channel through a membership portal so that people have to pay to get inside your membership. You showcase your free content, but then they can go inside of your paid content. It's all going to be sitting in the right place. There's an interactive community builder. You're going to know what they're interacting with. Like, this is what I'm doing. I'm actually taking away a lot of all these other systems that I've had before that have housed my courses and content. I haven't sold my courses and content for years, but now I can actually have people become a member of my paid content and they can get access to it. So as a rockstar content producer, you're going to get your very own premium channel inside the network. And as part of that, you're also going to get a customized profile page with your bio, your photos, and all your social sites, and your main offers or your website are going to be connected. You'll also get featured in mailings to the network, which is a massive list, and on the Weld Network social media channels. You'll be showcased, you'll be featured, you'll have an opportunity to get and be one of the masterclass hosters. So imagine, here you've got this epic network and you've got a masterclass you want to host or you want to do a live stream. So instead of just doing it to your audience, what if you got on as a Rockstar channel owner and then you got to showcase your offer, your masterclass right to the network? You bring your people in and all of the network's people are also there, because this is where I'm creating all those multiple streams of income. Think about it. You have an epic offer. You put it in as the network offer. You become one of the masterclasses. Everyone in the network, if they choose to showcase your content, they can become an affiliate of your work. What happens? Everyone starts helping each other grow. Do you see where I'm coming from? So there's a multi-tier different opportunity for different revenue streams, multiple revenue streams that are going to be inside of the network. And we're going to feature your products, your programs, and your services across all the targeted ad spots. And our smart AI will match the viewers that are interested in what you have to show. So it never feels pushy, interrupted, just the exciting thing that they were hoping to see. I love that on Amazon, right? It's like, oh yeah, of course I wanted that. That's what it's gonna be like. So on top of that, as a second huge bonus, you're gonna get it published inside of our Wild magazine. You'll be featured in the Wild magazine, and you'll also get your interview, and we'll showcase you everywhere. It'll be also a really great positioning and credibility builder that you can share with potential clients and use throughout your social and for helping you get into other publications. That's what I do best. So there's gonna be a lot of opportunities that we have available that you can participate in. And as a third bonus, nobody on my team can imagine I'm doing this, but in January, we're gonna be launching the magazine and we're opening it up to only the Rockstar channel owners to be a columnist in our magazine. What is your passion? What is your expertise? To be a writer, to be a columnist? We're building this so you can be like a columnist in Forbes magazine, but you're going to be in the Wild magazine. Your clients can be published by you. You can make that as an offer that you use. Let me share this. Let me share your story. People can pay to be inside of your column. Like, this is the essence. So we'd love to feature you in all of the issues with your own column. So you choose your topic and you build your major visibility with consistent positioning in the magazine. And I'll just be really straight with you though. For every single feature of this network, there are at least 2 companies that are charging 5 times more. I know it personally, right? Because I also am an agency that works with a lot of these other types of companies that are charging so much more to be inside of a network like this. And so with the Wild Network, we have a one-time opportunity right now. It's just under $3,000 for you to be part of it. When we launch it again to the public, it's going to be a lot more expensive. It'll probably be at least double the price. So you'll never get this price again. And I really, truly believe in you. And I know this is a huge set of bonuses that are part of it. And it's also something that I want to help grow you and your business. And I want you to be part of this epic, epic network. So on behalf of myself and my team, we've built this for you, and we want to thank you for being part of it and to really help you grow your essence and to really help you be part of the greatest network that's ever been created. All you need to do is sign up. There is a button right here. The entire team is going to help take care of everything for you, and they're going to take you by the hand and walk you through the process and to get you started. So you have to just decide what spot you're going to roll in, and let's make it happen. You don't need to create anything new. All you have to do is step in and say yes. I am a wild woman, and I am part of the Wild Woman Network. So the best thing is to know is that this is a very limited amount of space. We can only take so many of you, and in order for you to get access, get your spot today that you're showing up live if you didn't get it yesterday, because we've got 2 full more days. So let's do it. We're going to do a huge media blitz, and we're going to spread our message across the world. I can't wait to see you inside the network. So if there's any questions, my monitor wasn't popping up, so I couldn't check the questions. But if there are some questions, I can certainly answer them. But again, also, many women were sending messages through our team about the book. So we've had yesterday, I think 10 or 15 applications today, about 12 also came through. So part of the next book series, because many of you are wondering. So the next book, we're launching the next 4 books in the series. The next one in April is Wealth. That's W. Actually, we begin classes with Diana Wentworth in November. There's only 25 spots, and already 10 spots are fully taken, and we've got about 25 applications. So if you want to be one of the next authors in the book, be sure that your application goes through. There is a small refundable fee in order for you to meet with the team, because we are interviewing everyone, and not everyone's going to make it. So make sure in that application you really share why. Why do you want to be part of it? And get yourself in line so that you can be selected. And we will be announcing then all of the next authors the first week of November, showcasing who's going to be in the next book. So you have to get your application in now in order for you to be considered. All right, guys. So team, do we have any questions that came in for me? I think some people were asking, what should I do if, is this network for me if I only have a small amount of content or if I'm very new? Absolutely. Because this is where you're going to be able to showcase, start a podcast, get your content out there. Because if you actually start doing content and you're not in the network, and then you start going onto Facebook when nothing is there, right? It's best to be inside of a network where you can actually learn and be supported the whole time. Okay, so now my monitor's on. What's the best way to use the Wild Network as part of growing my business? Well, Jan, thanks for that. So first off, the best way to use it is it's not only a place where you can bring people to, right? So if you are, let's say you have a course or you already have an audience, it's a great way for you to house your content in a place that has more eyeballs, more people. My content's going to be there, right? I'm going to be driving content. We've got a number. Leah Steele's content's going to be in there. So it's almost like you're going to the most exclusive country club, like a YouTube, where everyone like you is in there. Because YouTube is so scattered and so broad that everyone gets lost. Your content doesn't get seen. So the best way to use it and to position it is to get inside and pick your way. Like choose your channel, pick your theme that your business is about. And then we categorize that. We put it through AI, keyword it, so that now you can showcase that you're part of the network. And then you can also have more people that are in the network see your content because of the way we're going to have ad spots, we're going to have features, and you're going to be able to do master classes as well. So there's a lot of opportunity when you get inside that we'll be rolling out in the next couple months. All right, Barbara says, what is the best kind of content to position on the network? Well, for instance, I'm going to be positioning my Rhonda Swan show. So if you have a podcast or video podcast, pick a theme that you're all about, teach something, right? Be able to showcase what it is that you know, right? Because people are going to come and they're going to search topics that they're looking for. We're creating this space, so it's almost like its own search engine, right? So you can teach, you can inspire, you can also have your own courses and your own private material that's going to be inside the membership area. So it's really a powerful way for you to start actually learning about your brand. So you start showcasing what your brand's about, not so scattered. And our head brand strategist, Star, is going to be in every other week showing and teaching how to build your brand and how to really elevate your message. So that's the best way to do it. All right, Renee says, how can I be a featured author in the next Wild book? Well, there is a application right on your page, I think it's in the top right or so, that says, I want to be an author, or fill out the application. Fill out that app, make sure it's complete so that our brand strategists and our author concierge can go through that and interview you to see that you really are a true fit. There is a fee to take that interview that is non-refundable if you are not accepted. And we will then share with you what more is going to be happening within the author program. You're going to work with Diana Wentworth. You're also going to be featured on my show as an individual, like you have your own show with me. You'll also be part of Women's The Wild magazine again, and you'll be able to have your own column, and you'll be part of the best-selling author and the best-selling book series that we are going to be looking to reach more than Chicken Soup for the Soul did. So you're part of history, and this is part of the first Wild series is part of the Legacy series for Women Gone Wild book. So put in your chapter or put in your application. I'm excited to learn more about you. I'm going to go through every one of these applications to learn more about you so that you can really be showcased their best inside of that book. All right, guys. Debbie, okay, so how can being on Wild Network get me in front of my ideal clients? Well, like we said before, there's AI, the artificial intelligence inside the network. So you will fill out your profile, and your profile will have what you stand for, what your keywords are, what your content's going to be about. And we will then match those that are visiting the network with the content, right? So people are either searching for your content or you are showcased in what you do best. Right? So for instance, I'm in PR and branding. If I have people that are looking at how to market myself, how to get, better credibility, my content will show up because that's what I am noted for. That's what my keywords are for. But then if someone is looking at other content and yours matches it, they'll say, hey, if you like this, you'll also love this. Our AI is going to start getting a lot smarter as well. And so this is really why we are putting this together so that you can be showcased not only as a featured, as an ad on the network, but we're going to be sending a lot of traffic to get your information, your content in front of them. So, all right, guys, so it looks like it is the end. It is, it's so important for us, right, as women to really lift each other up. And we've covered so much in the last day, yesterday, and about today. We talked about crab bucket mentality. So if you truly wanted to break out of the mold, make sure you sign our manifesto, and that you come and join me with thousands of other women around the world who are ready to ignite and to join this network together. Have a great one, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for Leadership Day. And we've got some really special guests to be there. So we'll see you there. Be there bright and shiny. Be unstoppable and stay wild.
To be a woman gone wild means to live beyond the conditioning and the constructs of the world we once knew, and be the woman who has broken free of the chains that once contained her. At a rapid pace, the world is shifting. This change has called you into realms of divinely guided leadership and into a movement of wild women who have linked arms to fearlessly live, fearlessly lead, and fearlessly love. Where the voice that guides us expands from within, where head-led living is being replaced with a devotion to heart-led leadership and pure alignment. Every single woman is a leader. You, Queen, are a leader, which is why you arrived here. Whether you are leading yourself, your family, or your community, whether you are single, married, a mother, an entrepreneur, a healer, or a woman with a dream, you belong here. Feminine leaders have been called to rise and stand front and center to share their voices and evoke waves of change across our planet. When a wild woman speaks, people listen. They hear her, they are moved by her, and they tell others of her. As the world revolutionizes, the foundation of this new construct lies in the strength of community. Connection and courage have already begun to form, as the cornerstones of which the pinnacle to our greatest awakening will be built. You have been called to be unafraid, to feel deeply, to lean into the nudge that continues to whisper within. Link arms with us. Rise fearlessly.